Here we go.
Cut the fix up. Ayy, with some Xbox, babies, put the switch up. See me gearing up for water, get it mixed up. I come in peace, kid. I'm bringing commentary and the new releases. I put them hours in to get play on X. Scared, destroy you on a Forza. You ain't tuned into the channel. Cut the with some Xbox, babies. See me get it mixed up, kid. I'm behind the new releases. I put them hours in to get prepared now. We play on expert level, don't be scared now. I'ma destroy you on a Forza, I can tear it down. If you ain't tuned into the channel, keep your head down.
Yo, everybody, welcome to The Fix. You're here with myself, Infinite Umbra, and my illustrious co-star, co-host, Daniel J. McGee.
Welcome in, welcome in.
Yeah, guys, I mean, we had a good show today. Xbox does indeed have games. You're right, Ink Del Chapo. I'm sure you guys have watched the Xbox Partner Preview. If you have not, we will be playing it in the background as we discuss it and give it a review. And I would love to get you guys review as well. Magnanimous. I like that right, that title. Magnanimous Umbra. Yes, I like that cap. But yeah, we'll be definitely talking about the Xbox Partner Preview and giving our score for it. I'll just kind of give you a bit of a teaser. We were pleased, I'll tell you that. And also, as you can see on the screen now, Shattered Space. We'll be going over that, giving our thoughts on it. I'll probably give a score since I finished everything. Yeah, but we'll just definitely give our thoughts on it in general. And doing it, of course, the gaming news roundup and talking about the latest and greatest and going on around the world, from media to gaming and everything else like that. We're going to try to keep this to within 2 hours. I know I always say it, and we always go above it. So I think tonight we'll be fine, though. I don't think it's a ton to discuss, so we'll try to keep that within 2 hours today. Plus, I got things to do, so yeah. But I want to thank you all for being here, so I appreciate you all in the chat. Shout out to Grey Monad, our mod. Shout out to my brother Cap. Shout out to El Chapo, Ink Del Chapo. Shout out to MJ Plays. Shout out to King Webb. What's up, brother? Shout out to Soil Tech. And I think it was one other person I may not have seen or not remember right off the bat. But yeah, whoever else is here, if you're lurking, hello to you too. Hit the like button, guys. Danny, my brother, what have you been up to? Yeah, tell the good community what you've been up to.
Not a ton, honestly. I mean, I played Shattered Space, but we're going to talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah.
I finished the campaign and all the operations for Space Marine 2.
Nice. Now you know they have some DLC coming for that now.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really fun game. It is one of those games where I feel like, I don't know. So like you definitely enjoy the gameplay of it without knowing anything about like 40K, because it's just fun basically. It feels very much like a throwback to sort of like the 360 era of just like, I'm gonna drop you in this space and watch you beat the hell out of some dudes.
Right.
And for a lot of people that's probably enough. But then on top of that, it actually has this really interesting story with the Thousand Suns and all this stuff. And it's like, my only complaint with it is that I don't think they do a good job of explaining like what the hell is going on to people who don't already know. But man, what a good game. Really, really love it.
Nice. Yeah, I think actually the DLC dropped already. Is it today it dropped or yesterday or something like that?
Maybe, I don't know. They basically dropped like a whole roadmap of stuff, so it might not have all dropped at the same time.
Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff coming for it. I still have yet to get to that game. I need to get to it. I was talking to a bunch of buddies earlier, man. Yeah, I should have been asleep, but it was right after the partner preview, and we were just talking
Right.
about a ton of things. So Yakuza came up, and we were talking about Yakuza, and I was like, wow, I have so many other games inside of Yakuza to get through. I've gotten through Zero,
yeah, there's a lot of them.
Kiwami 2, and I was on 3. That was the last one, and I have to get through that to move forward. That's the way I am, and I have so much. And then I started thinking about other games. I'm like, wow, I didn't get to that either. I didn't get a chance to play Judgment, the spinoff from Yakuza or Part 2, and I own both of them. You know, so it's like, yeah, I got a lot of stuff to get through. So, but that's then of course Warhammer's 1. That's definitely on the list to get to. I'm probably going to do it within the next month because now I'm on Octopath. Not so Octopath. I'm on Metaphor.
Right.
Yeah, so I have to get through that for sure, and I'm focused on that for now. But outside of as far as gaming, what else have you been watching? Anything or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been continuing to watch Survivor. The new season, I think, started pretty slow. Like the first maybe 3 episodes were like not bad at all, but it was just a lot of like very careful gameplay and not a whole lot of like really big personalities. But episode like, was it 3 or 4, whatever the one last week was, it just really turned the key and was like, we're gonna do some wackadoo shit like real fast.
Yeah.
This one character, or I guess I shouldn't say characters, they're real people. This one contestant, who had basically said nothing for the first, I think, 3 episodes, all of a sudden was like, what if I killed a man today? Just woke up and chose violence, and it was amazing.
They were like, they recognized that nobody was really paying attention. They were like, you know what? Like they weren't going anywhere. Nobody was like really feeling them. And they're like, you know, why don't I
bet I could
just murder somebody?
Sure would be a shame if something were to happen here.
Right. This
Nice
might
big
get me
chick out
noticed. Right.
Yeah. She's probably like my favorite player in the game right now.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, another one of the like complaints that I have with the season so far is man, a lot of the people who have gotten voted out so far have been like some of the bigger personalities. And so I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, it's really only like maybe 3 or 4 people left in here who are interesting to watch. So
I was gonna say worthy.
I hope they last pretty while.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, they're all good players, with the exception of like maybe 1 or 2. It's just that a lot of them are playing like a very careful, like quiet game, which is great, but it's just not maybe super fun to watch, you know? So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, and Penguin continues to be phenomenal.
What episode are they up to now? 4, 5?
Yeah, I think it comes out every Sunday or something. I don't know. I think there's 4 out. I think the 5th one might have like just come out or is about to come out. But I've only watched 4 of them.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Now that's one I have to get to. You know what I actually started watching, man? From. You ever hear? Yeah, that horror type show.
No idea what you're talking about.
Well, it stars what's my man's name? Let me look his name up really quick. From, and for those, if I'm saying it, my enunciation. Okay, King Webb got it. So it's not like I'm saying it too crazy. Yeah, From. It is actually I binge watched the first season. Oh, great, you know about it too. Okay, yeah. So you guys have seen it. My man Harold Perrineau, he is the lead actor.
It's an MGM Plus show. I didn't even know that MGM had a streaming service.
I'll be honest, I did, but then I forgot. And then yeah, but you know, if by the power of technology and the internet, there are so many ways to watch this show.
Oh
and,
no.
You know, not advocating for anything. You know, no any pirate life. I'll leave that to Majima, you know, and you know, yeah, the pirates and the Yakuza. But there are ways. Yeah, so I'm up to season 2 now. At the start of season 2, I have not watched any of season 2 yet, but I binged all of season 1. It is an interesting show, man. It's an interesting show. But the thing is, like, I thought, and I'm getting kind of this Lost vibes from it. You know how Lost was like, oh, this is the thing, and then, well, now we're over here, and there's this weird stuff going on. You don't quite know how to place what the show is.
Yeah.
That's
yeah,
what
know
I
exactly what you
feel.
mean.
Yeah, because because at first you get the immediate idea that okay, if you watch even a trailer, you will probably figure, okay, I know what this is about, and then you're watching, and it's like, what the hell? What the hell is going on in here? Like, this isn't. Are they that? You'd have to see it to see what I mean. I don't want to give anything away, but the first episode I think is worthwhile to see if you would like the series, and I think it sets a good tone personally within the first 20 minutes. Yeah, I'll say within the first 20 minutes you'll be like, oh, okay, I might watch this. So, but yeah, really entertaining show. I'm interested in seeing where it goes. I hope that it's not trash at the end of the day. Like, it's not overly complicated and like, well, this meant that, or I don't know. We'll see. But so far, so good. Really enjoying it. I have also, of course, played through Shattered Space, as we talked about, and Metaphor ReFantazio. Finally bought it this week and started up on it, and I'm going to be doing a review with our brother Lucius Augustus, as well as I think Black Viking might be chiming in too. We'll be giving like a unique kind of 2 or 3 person perspective, kind of like a Famitsu kind of situation. So yeah.
Sure.
MJ says Shattered Space is high key ass, but Metaphor is effing banging. I didn't think Shattered Space was bad, MJ. I thought it was just kind of more of the same of Starfield, and I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing, but we'll get to that in 1 minute. But yeah, let's move to the news roundup, Danny. What do we have?
Let's do it. There we go. The first thing we already kind of mentioned, so I'll just throw it in here, is we got the roadmap sort of announced for 40K Space Marine 2. It's a lot of the stuff that we kind of would have expected. It's like they're adding new operations, they're adding new weapons and new enemies, one of which is a big ass Tyranid. So that'll be fun. And then they're going to start adding more specific, like, Space Marine chapter cosmetics, starting with Dark Angels. Would have preferred Blood Angels. That's me, but that's fine. Dark Angels are cool, so we'll take it.
They have some interesting names. What's a Dark Angel and an Earth Angel? Earth Angel. Hey,
that new space chapter you guys been looking for. Here it is.
Right. But what is it? What is a Dark Angel though? Is that just a different tier of soldier or something? Or?
No, so it's with Space Marines. They're broken up into different chapters, and basically what that is the Empire of Man is spread so far and so wide across the galaxy that they basically had to break up into like sub-militaries, and each of those militaries had a Primarch that was like not the Emperor, but like somewhere in that vicinity of like they're kind of like half god. They were made, I believe, with part of the Emperor like infused into them. It's the lore is a lot, but it's basically just one of those. It's they're dark green. They're really cool.
He said it's like different frat chapters. Is that
sure? Yeah. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But yeah, like my favorite is the Blood Angels, and their whole thing is that they're like
blood.
They're basically vampires.
Oh wow.
And then you've got like the White Scars, who's like a big ass biker gang. You've got the Space Wolves, who are like Viking werewolves, basically. Like shit gets crazy.
Oh wow. And these are all like under the Emperor, all fighting for the Emperor.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all part of the Empire of Man. So
okay, all right. It's like Heavy Metal, the video game. It sounds like.
maybe it's hard to talk about the Dark Angels specifically because I really don't know a ton about them. Like they are one of the fan favorite ones, but they're just not one that has ever super interested me.
Okay.
But they're neat.
Well,
They got like a cool aesthetic. That's all I really got about them.
Mig Elite says any elder in the game.
They get like a reference, I think, but they're not in the game, no.
Okay. Yeah, my buddy Kaz, he's really big on Warhammer and all that stuff, so he's very knowledgeable about it. I'm sure he'd be in the chat now. No, you plebeian.
Yeah, sorry that I don't know your Dark Angels. My God.
All right.
No, there's no Eldar. It really is just like the Empire, the Tyranids, and a handful of Chaos, specifically Thousand Suns. There's really not a whole lot else. They mentioned the Orcs because they were in the first game, but that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, well, I have to get to that, man. I really do. I need to get to it. I gotta see if I can find someone. I feel like at that point when I get to it, it's like everybody else will have moved on to something else. So
It's fair. The
Yeah.
multiplayer is actually like really fun.
yeah, I
Very
heard it was
slow and
okay.
very heavy, but it's good.
Yeah, I heard it was no Gears of War, if that makes sense though. Like they said it wasn't.
No,
That's
it's definitely
engaging.
not like as good as a Gears of War or Halo or like it's not gonna have a esports scene, but it's a lot of fun.
Okay.
Like it's definitely like a I don't know. The multiplayer is kind of the fastest way to unlock like your cosmetics because the way that it works is like you have to either beat an operation or win a game in multiplayer, and the multiplayer is just so much faster. So
Nice. And you get to wear this in campaign, the stuff you unlock?
no, in the campaign you're just playing as
Titus.
Titus.
Okay.
Yeah. So but you can play it in the operations.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. What else do we have?
Xbox is going to let you stream your own games next month. The assumption here is that it's going to start coming out in batches. I don't believe that they've like officially announced it. I think this is still a leak from Tom Henderson last I saw. But it is cool that they're finally getting on this. It's been a minute, but I feel like they promised this a long time ago. So it's
Yeah.
good that they're doing it.
Yeah, definitely. It's something because I had been streaming gaming from their servers to my phone years back with xCloud and such, which is now I guess not really what it's called now. But I had been doing it with xCloud for my phone, and even when I was talking about Yakuza earlier, that was one of the games that I played a ton of through streaming. That and Cyberpunk, I played a ton through streaming that way, as well as on the actual at home on the TV. And so I had been doing it for a while, so this was like, okay, this is cool, but I have been doing this, but now it's set in stone where you get to play all of your own games that way. That right there is really a nice bonus. It's really dope. And I know it depends on where you're at and maybe your service, but I actually get pretty decent reception and service for xCloud, I have to say, for their streaming service. So personally, I have nothing but positives to say about it. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a solid 8 or 9. I'll be honest. That's how well it's worked for me over the years. So, and I know some people are like, it's ass. It doesn't work well. Not me. I can't speak for everybody.
I've never messed with it myself.
Yeah. You got to try it out sometime. See how you might like it. But if you're on a go or something like that, maybe. And this is,
I don't know.
Yeah. This is
because it's not that I think that it sucks or whatever. I just literally I have no use case for it.
I see. Yeah.
There's no time in my life where I'm like,
yeah, let me play
not
some
at
games
home
right
and
here.
thinking it'd be fun if I could play a video game. Like
Fair. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, unless you if you had a handheld that you can maybe take to work and on break or something, try something. But that's really about it.
Maybe, but I really don't even think then that I would, because
Mhm.
usually on break I'm just like
Kinda.
eating.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I understand. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, this is where that I think what was that G Cloud thing they were promoting would come in handy, for instance. But now it's like too late. Like this should have happened when that happened, but it didn't. So that product is not like less desirable now. Especially when you have like the ROG Ally and and the Steam Deck and stuff like that people can grab. But yeah, man, no, this is it's a nice W for them. I'll give them that. I hope they keep innovating when it comes to this right here and really go all out. I think it's a nice major step. And I guess it had to be time to happen after the situation with Epic and Apple. I wonder why that is exactly. But it seems like they waited until that was secured and ruled in Epic's favor before they could announce it. And right after it happened, that's when we saw Sarah Bond post about it. So it's crazy how complicated a lot of this stuff that seems like it shouldn't be complicated is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, absolutely. There's definitely some kind of like almost political aspect to it where it's like, well, these people said this and blah blah blah. And it's like, I don't know. The streaming wars they're a mess. Like I don't follow it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. What else did we have?
They announced some accessories, some Xbox accessories for specifically Black Ops 6. It's a new controller and an Elite controller, as well as a wrap for the Series X. And I think they look pretty cool, actually.
They look really good. I was actually surprised by how nice the controllers look to me. Actually, I won't say surprised because Xbox does really well with controllers.
True.
As we've come to see over time. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they're doing a wrap for it. They haven't usually. And I guess clearly Call of Duty is going to be their biggest game of the year because it's the biggest game of most years. So
yeah, makes sense.
It makes sense that they would roll in with it. And I think it also helps them sort of like, I don't know, brand Call of Duty as an Xbox thing now.
Yeah.
So I think it's just a really smart idea.
I think so too. You would think that they would have promoted it a little sooner than now. I would say, because it seems like it's like, oh, here's some promotion for this now. Where I think like they could have really set that up when they were showing like Call of Duty, months back to say, hey, yeah, here's a wrap design that we might have for it, or here's, I think that would have played out. But I guess either way, it's going to do well enough. I mean, what comes out is it next month for Call of Duty, the official launch?
Let me see. I actually don't know.
I don't either. Actually, I don't play Call of Duty enough, but. Yeah, chat. You guys excited for that? The new wrap and for the controllers.
It looks like Black Ops 6 comes out October 25th, so that's like
soon. Okay,
yeah.
So
that's next Friday.
Yeah, so I think that's part of my thinking is like, I feel like they should have shown this much sooner than now, but at the same time, I guess Call of Duty is such a monster in itself that they could say it on the day of and it's going to do well, right? To be fair. So
that's probably true. It's one of those things where I think people are gonna like, because these aren't things that are gonna be in the store, right? You have to buy these through like the Microsoft store, right? Like I don't think these are gonna just at Best Buy.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll like advertise it on the, I don't know, the Xbox front page or something.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that. Yeah, but have you guys seen the wrap and the controllers? Let me know what you guys think in the chat. I think they look really good, the controllers, and I think weren't they doing like a giveaway or something like that? I thought I saw. Maybe I'm mistaken.
Oh, to give away the controllers? I wouldn't be surprised, but I didn't see one.
Yeah, they look solid. I like them. I like them a lot. And the wrap actually looks like it. At first, I thought it was a premium console design, but I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah, it looks really solid. But yeah, so yeah, Meg Elite seen them. Yeah, they look pretty good, man. No, Cap, the controller is just the actual controller design, but the wrap is for the console itself. They have the new wrap design. They should do so much more with those wraps. I don't know why they're so limited, right? Like, yeah, you feel like they would have so many more out there.
Well, because I might be wrong, but I think the only like game specific ones that they've done were this and Starfield, right?
I think so. Yeah, other ones were just the camo, which was the green and blue one or whatever, greenish blue and the gray camo. That's really it. So I don't know why they're so limited that they have way too many games at their disposal to use that for. But yeah, they could have did it for Hellblade too. I don't know why they didn't do it for that.
Oh yeah, Hellblade 1 would have gone hard.
Yeah,
I don't know if it would have sold super well, but it would have looked really cool.
Yeah, put some runes around it or something like that, and her symbol or something like that in the front part for the Senua, whatever saga, whatever. Like, yeah, I don't know. Put an X on the side of it. Like, And it
Yeah.
could talk to creators and have them create stuff for it and do raps for it. Like, there's so many ways they can go with this that I feel like they're not really doing. But yeah. What up, Timmy? Junior. Yeah, Hi-Fi Rush rap, exactly, Mega League. Yeah, stuff like that. Although they don't own Hi-Fi Rush now anymore, but I don't even want to get into that. I'll start getting emotional. But yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that one probably wouldn't have held up super great.
Right.
Be-
I'm just happy that it's still around.
Studio.
Right.
But you still got your rap though.
Here's the rap. But hey,
Yeah.
it's a rap. Oh yeah, on a rap.
That would have been a little awkward for sure.
Yeah. A magnetically cooling wrap. Cav, I don't know, man. I think that'll cost a lot. But
Yeah, I don't know. Are you having like heating problems on your Xbox? Like I haven't. I don't know.
yeah, I haven't had that issue. I think the wraps they're thin enough where they're not harming. They won't heat it up too much, from my understanding.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing's basically just like a chimney. Like the way it cools is. I don't know. I've never had problems with the overheating with it.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues with it. But yeah, but they also have that cooling station you can place your Xbox on, Cap, if you want to keep things cool. People place them in ridiculous. Yeah, some people do put them in enclosed areas and such, which you shouldn't. I think it even tells you like not to do that when you're unboxing the thing and everything in the settings and such.
Yeah, I mean at that point, a cooling cap's not gonna help you.
Yeah,
It's like my Xbox still overheated in the oven. It's crazy. I don't know why it's doing that.
why is this happening?
Yeah.
What temperature do you have the oven set to? 350 naturally.
350. What is it? A cake?
Right. 350. What else do we have, man?
Metaphor is already selling really well. So it's already sold over 1 million copies because it said 1 million basically the day after we did last week's episode. So
nice.
however much more time they've had to build on top of that, it has immediately become Atlas's fastest selling game.
Love it.
And I mean, damn, it's doing really well. I don't know. There were some people who were really concerned about like, oh, Xbox is marketing it only for Xbox. And it's like, yeah, no shit. But like, they're like, oh, it's gonna hurt the sales of it. And it's like, really?
Yeah.
How'd that work out for you?
Egg in the face. And it's so funny because, and of course, everybody probably knows who we're talking about. But I won't shout him out just to be respectful. But he got egg on his face, and he was like, he tried to double down and tried to, is it just me, like the Xbox, the only ones that don't really get things, whatever. Like, nah, don't turn this
What
on.
do you mean? What are you
On
talking
Xbox,
about?
guys. You went out there and made this statement on your own.
Yeah, I actually don't even know who we're talking about. But
I'll
I mean,
I'll just say
whoever
it.
it is, it's just like, that's crazy.
I'll just say it. Mighty Keith. That's where it all stemmed.
Oh,
It
okay.
stemmed from him. This whole discussion, and I was like, why throw that out at Xbox guys? And when they called you out on it, because he was like, oh, it's it would be better if like why would the Atlas and Sega do this if it's going to hurt the game essentially by having Xbox, which is obviously sold less than PlayStation,
Right.
and PlayStation is seen more as the home of
That's the thing,
JRPGs.
is like it has sold less in terms of consoles, but I think I told you this at some point. Like I was looking up the user base for the different consoles,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't remember exactly what the numbers were, but all of the consoles were pretty much the same, and I think Xbox was ahead by like a couple million. So I'm not even really sure
Yeah,
what
like
the point of that is. Like,
Yeah.
what are we talking about?
right, and like it can only grow from there. Like, what do you expect Xbox? Like the whole statement seems defeated. Like, okay, so Xbox should just accept defeat and not promote it or get any promotion done with Sega. Not offer
Yeah.
them any bag. Sega should not take any money that's being offered to them to allow them to promote it and do more for them and their studios.
Oh, here it is.
Like all of these things is the self-defeat is like, why would any of this take place? And that's why he was so
Yeah.
adamant about it, and people were debating him then. Then it comes out, oh, it did really well, blah blah blah, and now he's like, and then people throw it in his face, and logically so, and he's like, oh, Xbox, you guys, the only ones that purposely misunderstand and don't get it. It's like, no,
Purpose
brother.
misunderstand. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, you said this. You made your bed. You can't get mad when they turn against you when you trash
yeah.
them. Yeah.
So like, here, our most recent numbers for monthly active users is Steam is at 132 million, Xbox is at 120 million, PlayStation is at 116 million, and Nintendo's at 128 million. So based on like activity of people playing online and actually like using networks, PlayStation's actually the smallest. So I don't understand what we're talking about. Like, yeah, they've sold more consoles, sure, but like those people aren't doing anything with them.
True, and a lot of those are from people. I have to remember too. A lot of those are from scalpers and stuff, but like people who have stocks of those.
True. Yeah, lot of the
hell, I know PlayStation guys who have multiple PlayStations that just sitting around, literally. Like I know somebody right now that has 5 of them. Like seriously.
Yeah. To be fair, I also know people who have multiple Xboxes. Where they'll have like the Series X and the S for like their kid or whatever.
Yeah.
But that 120 number for Xbox is like just the actual Xbox network. Like that's not including like Steam people who are playing Xbox games or mobile games. Because when you add that, Xbox announced that it being over 500 million. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like I think maybe advertising your game in the Xbox ecosystem that can reach 500 million people is like maybe not the worst idea.
Exactly, yeah. Because I think it's overall Microsoft itself, including gaming, is like you said, 500 million MAUs. So they'll do all right, and they're doing all right. And I know it's like number. I think last I looked, it was 14 or 19 on Xbox itself, or something like that. Maybe I have to look at it again to see the numbers for.
In terms of sales or player?
I think sales.
Gotcha.
Playing wise is probably in the top 3, I would think, if not top 5. I have to look at it and see, but I saw it earlier and I kind of forget right now. But I think the most sales for it will happen on Steam and PC naturally. But yeah, man, like I just I personally I'm happy for their success. I'll say that. What's up, Rescue? Yeah, I'm personally happy for their success, and it's funny to see people have to eat crow a little bit, and that was a big point of contention because a lot of different people started going at him about that. I know Gaz was one of them that went back and forth.
Oh no!
Yeah, they had a little back and forth, and it got insulting and stuff like that. And well, he got insulting, should I say, toward Gaz, and Gaz not being the type to kind of shy away from that, got back at him. But it's just kind of like be humbled by this and kind of own up to it. Like some people don't like to do that, and it's funny to me when I see it. Like if you're wrong, it's okay to acknowledge you're wrong. I don't like to be wrong either, but sometimes I'll be like, yeah, hey, okay, I was wrong about that. It is what it is. I don't like it, but it is what it is. That's why I try not to make too many definitive statements like that. I feel like it's way too, I don't know, arrogant.
Yeah. It's just opening yourself up to being wrong.
That too. Yeah, absolutely.
If you don't 100% know what you're talking about, you should probably just not talk about it.
I agree.
At least not online when you have a really big following, because people will call you. Like, you're going to hit that community note immediately.
100%. Like, if you give it a thought, like, I think it could be, that's fine. Speculation. But if you're saying whatever is a definitive, that's what he did. And now, it came back to bite him. You can't be mad at everybody else. And that's what he did. He tried to turn it on everyone else, the Xbox community, for using his words against them. But, yeah. But, Mig Elite said, going back to cloud, could we see local co-op on the cloud?
Local co-op on cloud? I don't know. I mean, I guess you could probably do it.
Well, Mig Elite, you trying to play some Pokemon or something? Mig Elite trying to play Pokemon on the Xbox.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be like local co-op, but you could definitely do co-op. Like, that's not an issue, I wouldn't think. I don't know specifically what the difference between like local and just online co-op would be when you're cloud streaming it at that point.
Oh, he says like 2 people playing cloud streaming from the same console and playing local co-op. I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I should test that out.
I feel like they kind of block that. I'm not Xbox specifically, but like a lot of streaming services will be like, oh, somebody's already watching your Fubo TV and now you can't watch it over here. So I don't know, maybe because like you technically only bought it once.
Right. I would have to see. Maybe if you'd game sharing, maybe that would allow for that. Maybe that's the case. Yeah. I wonder how that would work. But like if it's from the same console, I'm trying to imagine this scenario.
Yeah. It's like someone's playing it on the console and somebody else is playing it on their like phone or tablet or
that whatever. I could see working. That I can see probably working. But like both being on cloud, local co-op. I don't know if that would work. That'd be interesting though. I got to look into that, Elite. I'll check into that and see, since I mean I have the capabilities to do it, and I'll see if I can find out any answer for that. And maybe we'll talk about it in the future, or I'll mention it on Twitter or something like that. That is interesting. Actually, I got some people I can hit up and that would know in the know. Yeah, I'll see. I'll check on it and see what they say. Yes, MJ, very excited for Stalker 2. I know there's been some previews for that going out. Shout out to Paris. I know he did one. He talked with the artist, I believe, of Stalker 2. And
that documentary, if you haven't watched it, go and watch it.
I haven't checked it out yet. I got to check that out.
It's very good.
Yeah, I definitely.
I mean,
check it.
It's heartbreaking, but very good.
Yeah, I think that was why I didn't really check it out, because it was like, I already knew where it was going to go, you know. But what else did we have, man?
Don't worry, PlayStation fans. PlayStation has you. They're gonna be everywhere. They're doing a concert world tour, baby. I think this is hilariously tone deaf. Is like the way that I immediately thought of it. It's like your player base right now is asking you to put out a game,
right,
or like to announce a game. Like they just showed off Ghost of Yotei, so they've got some breathing room now. But I also think it's just really tone deaf to be like, hey, like I know that we haven't done what you want, but what if you paid us money and then we gave you Flute Guy on stage in 200 different cities across the world? Because that's the thing, right? Is like they're talking about, they say like and other games, but the ones that they've announced are it's going to be Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us, God of War, and the Horizon series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think about those games and I'm like, none of those are like, I mean, the soundtracks are all good, don't get me wrong, but they're not ones that I would like go to a concert for, right? Like none of those are like hype music. Like I'm gonna go sit down with all my friends and hear boom, boom, boom. Like what? Like I don't understand. This doesn't feel like the kind of thing that you would go to a concert for.
Yeah,
am I wrong?
You listen. You'll be surprised what our Hoove brothers will support. What's up, Riz?
That's fair.
Yeah, you'll be surprised, because I've said it before. They will support PlayStation almost in every endeavor. I've seen it. I've heard them say it. I don't know. So I can see somebody being out there like, oh my God, is that B Symphony 8 in Final Fantasy 7? And they start playing the OST or something.
Yeah. I mean, maybe if some Final Fantasy music makes its way in there, that might be a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
But the games that they listed, like their first party ones there, it's again, all really good soundtracks for like when you're playing the game, but none of them are like hype. They're not like musics or songs that you would like listen to at the gym even, or things that you would like jam out to. Like I think if outside of the context of actually playing those games, you're not listening to the Last of Us soundtrack, are you? Like that doesn't make sense.
I wouldn't put it past
a little
some
like
of them.
banjo music.
I wouldn't put it past some of our depraved Hoove brothers. They're probably at home listening to like some music or something. I don't know. You know what? Maybe they might have the acoustic Take On Me version. Right? Maybe they might have that. Yeah. You never know. Maybe like at a Los Angeles engagement or something, they might have the actress. What's her name that does the voice over for? I forgot her name right now.
Who?
For Ellie, the one that does her voice and I guess now visuals.
Oh, Ashley Johnson's the voice actor.
That's it, Ashley Johnson. She actually does they patterned a bit of the design now off of her face too. I've noticed over time. Yeah. But yeah,
I can see that.
They could probably do that. Maybe have her go on stage and do that. Like that'd be pretty cool, I guess, if they did that. But yeah,
I think Ashley Johnson actually is like a fairly capable singer. I don't know that she's going on tour to 200 cities or
no,
whatever. I don't see her doing that.
Nah,
she's a real ass actress. Like she is busy. But maybe.
Cap said, "Nuh-uh, you'll be there for the Shattered Space soundtrack."
I mean,
actually,
I also like the Shattered Space soundtrack, but I wouldn't go to a concert for that either.
I wouldn't. I will say though that the main theme for Starfield actually lends itself very well to something like this. Actually,
I mean, it does bang, but
like I can hear
it
that.
Would sound good.
Yeah,
but I don't know. Again, it's just not like. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong, but I can't imagine anybody like getting hyped to this, you know, to any of this music. Like no one is dancing to the Last of Us theme.
Right.
Maybe that's not the point. Maybe people just want to sit there and like be demure and
Right.
polite and be like,
So
yes,
demure.
good banjo.
Yes.
Like I don't know. It doesn't work for me, I guess.
Quite.
Quite.
Bandicoot Suite 8. Yes.
Imagine.
Could you
Everyone
please?
showing up in suits and like with the little like opera glasses.
And
Oh my
the
God,
and
that
the
shit.
what do they call that? The penguin tails for the coat.
Oh yeah.
And the monocles on their eye.
God.
Yes.
You know what? Actually, I'm sold. Let's go. But only if we're doing all that. Otherwise, I'm out.
We also have to have the fancy gloves on and the cigarettes that you have to smoke through that long tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to smoke it through the tube that we hold in our like two
Quite.
fingers, right? Like, yes.
Ugh,
What's
I
up,
found it
Pyro? What's up,
shallowly
brother?
pedantic.
Yes, very pedantic. Indeed. Indubitably.
Anyway, in other news, over on the Xbox side of things, it turns out that lawsuit against them filed by quote gamers TM was still going on, but don't worry, it's dead now. Like I don't know how it lasted this long. Maybe no one was like actively looking at it. They just forgot to hit the no button on it.
Yeah.
But it has officially been dismissed with prejudice, which is good because it means that they can't try it again. Which honestly, maybe they dismissed it before and it just got retried over and over again. So now they had to do this to make those quote gamers shut up. But glad it's done. Apparently the FTC is still like low-key trying to push on the Activision thing to some extent.
Yeah.
But every person that I've heard talk about it, like God, what's his name? The Florian Mueller, him and like all of them. I've just only heard them talking about it in terms of like, yeah, the FTC is doing it to like try and save face, basically, or like try and get like at this point they can't get it overturned, but they want to get some concession that'll make them have more ability to get other things overturned later or something. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if even that didn't happen though, because as far as I'm aware, the entire government kind of hates the FTC right now. Like both parties agree on nothing except that the FTC kind of sucks at their job.
Yeah.
So
I've been seeing a lot of that. I know, like, not to get too political, but I know AOC, she was like saying that there will be blood. Like she's like, well, she's gonna fight for Lena Khan and everything. And I'm sure Lena deserves to be fought for. I don't want to try to demonize the woman.
yeah, I'm sure she's a good person. She's just not great at her job, apparently.
That's what a lot of people were saying, man. Yeah. But and I know I was like super X-botting at the time, like, no, get out of here, FTC. Like I was tired of them. But because I wanted this to go through so we can move forward. But you know, that we do need that the FTC is needed.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So
I was not at any point like upset that they were looking at it, but that shit took so long.
It did, man. It really did.
That was crazy. Like they need to speed that system up. I don't know what the hell that's all about.
Yeah. But no, like the whole situation with this gamers thing, it's like okay. Stay with me here, guys.
Gotcha.
It's like the Diddy situation.
Locking out?
It's like the Diddy situation where if one outlandish thing is known to be true, such as the freak offs, right?
Sure.
And the baby oils and such, the thousands of baby oils, which is just bizarre. We know then that other things can be wild and like, wow, this happened too, right? And when it happens, you start having all these people come out of the woodwork. And I'll give you an example. For instance, with Diddy, like some lawyer who's working on behalf of the clients has like 130 something clients or something like that, all suing Diddy, whatever, right? Now, I don't know if these people have been violated. I wouldn't say that they wouldn't. Who knows, right? I would doubt that all of them have, but apparently there were thousands who came forward, and the lawyer had to dwindle it down to 100 and something.
Oh, for the Diddy things,
right? You see what I mean? So like, the people will jump forward to make spurious claims like that.
Oh, I'm sure. And also, like, if you've got literally thousands of people, like you cannot show 1,000 claims in court. Like that's right. 7 years.
It will take a long time, and even this is going to be held up for years. So
yeah, so you're gonna pick the like 100, 150 like most damning ones.
Most damning ones.
Maybe we just do these ones.
Exactly. So like
at a certain point, it's like stop hitting him, he's already dead.
Agreed. And then at the same time, it's like, how serious is this, and is it just really for you to get your payday, right? And I'm not saying, I don't want to make it like these people didn't get victimized. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
I mean, he definitely did some shit.
He did some things. He did some things
around that.
Yeah,
and dude's a freak off.
He's a freak off freak for sure. And like, but like, my thing is going back to even the gaming part. They'll make spurious claims because they know people like, or companies rather, corporations like Microsoft, they got tons of money. Why not make that claim and say, hey, I want to sue you because of this? Like, you'll see these idiotic claims. Like the one that always gets me, I always go back to, Cap said Diddler done did it.
he
done it.
I think he probably done did a couple of things. I don't know if he did all of the things, but he definitely did enough of the things.
He did enough of the things that got him in trouble. But like one of the ones I always go back to when it goes to suing is the one about McDonald's. I'm sure you remember this.
Oh,
one.
The hot coffee.
The
one.
hot coffee,
not the Grand Theft Auto hot coffee one.
Right? Not
although
the real life hot coffee. In this case,
yeah,
where the lady was like, "Oh, obviously the hot coffee I ordered, I didn't know it was going to be hot, and it spilled on me and burned me." Nah, lady, you burned yourself. You didn't have to be told that coffee is going to be hot. You didn't order iced coffee.
That lady dumb as hell, honestly.
Yeah.
I don't know who that is. Honestly,
I wouldn't even say she's dumb.
Paid, so maybe she's not dumb.
She's smart, right? Because she knew exactly what she was doing. And that's why I say, like, some of these things are spurious to the point, like, okay, this is ridiculous. You're just trying to cash out because, hey, you know, he's in a bad situation. And the same thing I feel like with these gamers, the Gamers United or whatever they call themselves, for this with Microsoft. It's like, yeah, it's possible they might be in a situation because of the FTC investigating them. But after they won that case, that pretty much ended their little ploy right there, I think. And so this has been dismissed with prejudice, from my understanding.
Yeah. So they can't try it again. This one, I mean, this was always a really stupid claim because it always just came back to like fanboyism. Like there was never any like real claim on this one. And it was one of the, like, when the FTC was looking into this merger again, I was like, yeah, this makes sense. Like, it's a really expensive merger. Two really big companies are coming together. Like, definitely look at it. Like, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
But this one was literally just PlayStation fanboys being like, but Call of Duty though, my Call of Duty. And it's like, okay, well, there's no legal precedent for you being upset about it. Like, I'm sorry.
Right. It was nonsense.
You can be as upset as you want, but like, as long as it's legal, like, they can do it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
For sure.
I'm sorry that your favorite store closed down or like merged.
For sure. Yes, it was nonsense from the start. I mean, we all saw it. Soil Tech says that's not really what the case is about. It's more about, is the jury willing to accept the defendant as they are? And they weren't. Soil Tech.
I guess.
Yeah, because I think it was nonsensical on its face personally, but we knew that as gamers, we knew what they were talking about was nonsense. And it's just the court had to get to it, and it was like, okay, this is nonsense. Yeah. That's really what. And
there was a lot of it where it was like, oh, the people, like the lawyers in charge of this, are not gamers. Like, they are not in this industry. They don't know really what's going on. So a lot of it was literally just like, okay, so what's a video game? Who's Activision? What's going on?
Yeah. Also, you said we don't know what Microsoft paid. They didn't settle, from my understanding. That was a miss.
No,
I think Jeff Keighley put that. He said settled. They didn't settle, so it's that.
Yeah, they didn't pay.
This was dismissed.
I mean, they would have paid lawyers unless they made the gamers pay for it. But I don't think that when it's dismissed, I don't think that that's how that works. I'm pretty sure that they like, with how long this took, they absolutely paid like a fair amount for like legal fees, but they didn't pay the gamers jack diddly. Yeah,
because that right there was a misunderstanding because of Jeff Keighley's tweet, from my understanding.
Oh, did he say that?
Yeah, he said it was settled.
Shocking.
And I'm like, he said it after it was reported that they had been dismissed. I'm like, they didn't. What do you mean settled? And people called him out on that. I saw that. People were going at Jeff Keighley's neck about that because he was like settled. Microsoft didn't pay them anything. What do you mean settled? And people also have a misconception when it comes to settling too, because like, that was used against people for a long time. Oh, they settled, so they must have done it. That doesn't mean that they did it just because they settled. It's to really get you the hell out of their way. Like, sometimes they'll settle without having to go to trial, for instance. People do that. They'll just give you the money to make you go away. Like, that happens. Believe it or not. Michael Jackson is a very infamous instance for that, where he paid. People were like, well, he paid. He settled with them. And then later on, you find out about the kids. They come forward and say that never happened as they grew to an adults. And they said, and Mike would we found out he settled simply because he was on tour, and he would have canceled that tour, which brings in hundreds of millions to go and go to this court and try to fight this case off, which he could have done. He said he regretted that, by the way. He said he wished he had done it. Yeah, but yeah,
there's an amount of it that like makes you look guilty.
Exactly. You get accused of something like that, especially repeatedly. Oh, it's just, we already know, like, especially now. And now in the social media, you get accused of something like that. Oh, it's you're almost done for. You know,
kid.
Depending on how loved you are, I guess. But yeah, so like that whole thing right there with when it comes to settling is a misnomer. A lot of times I know people will go into, oh, that means they did it. No, it doesn't mean that. Megan Lee had asked, did anyone think Blind Fire looked like Perfect Dark? Mig, when we were watching it earlier, I literally said, is this Perfect Dark? Joanna, I think I said, looks like Joanna Dark. I think I said, like, out of turn. And it immediately I thought the same exact thing.
The blacklight one? I don't think
it's the one that looked like it's the one that looked kind of neon lighted in the
yeah. I don't know. I only played the original Perfect Dark, but I don't remember that one really looking like that. Maybe Zero did.
Yeah. And I agree, Bobby. He says if Michael was still alive now, the Foundation would find a way. The Me Too Foundation will find a way to get him canceled. I believe that. Pyro says, I have a theory, more hypothesis about the PlayStation concert. Typically, there's a TGA orchestra, rather, that's predominantly PS themed, but they don't have enough Sony IP to use at the TGAs. Yeah, it's possible. I see.
Guess it's possible.
Yeah, see, it was dismissed with prejudice. That's what I thought. Look, I don't think they'll
be able to play that. They'll be able to play that dog shit Astro Bot theme song. That would be great. Make me want to stab my ears out.
So he'll take shared the AP post. He says Microsoft has settled the lawsuit from a group of gamers. I wonder though, because it said it was dismissed with prejudice, so I don't understand that.
Definitely dismissed. I think that when they say settled, they just, like, some people are saying settled, meaning like
it's over with,
like it's done.
Yeah,
but they don't mean like settled outside of court.
Right. I don't think they paid. Personally, Soil Tech, because it said it was dismissed. When they say dismissed with prejudice, that means they didn't give anything up, typically.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'll look into it more, but it's kind of neither here nor there, I suppose. It says you can agree to dismiss with prejudice per settlement agreement.
Sure.
Oh, okay.
I guess. I don't think that's what happened here, though.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll look into it more to see. I guess at the end of the day, we don't really know. I guess the thing we can all agree on is that we don't know. He says he practices it. Okay. You're gonna be my lawyer.
I practice the oboe. Doesn't make me, doesn't put me in the sympathy.
Yeah. What else do we have, man? Because I know we got to go for it. But
let's see. Don't Nod is restructuring. So they're doing this because both Jasant and Vanishers apparently did not sell great.
Yeah.
Despite both of them reviewing very well, they just didn't move. No money came in. So
that's unfortunate.
It's probably going to result in layoffs, although we don't have numbers for that yet. But the word restructure basically means layoffs. So here we are. I don't know. It's an extremely talented studio, so I'm really excited to see like what they do going forward, and I hope it works out for them, because I think they're really valuable, right? They make a lot of very different games, and they make them pretty quick. Like, they're putting out games at a fast pace. So
yeah, they are. I hate to see this happen to them, because I think they were in danger of this some time back, if I'm not mistaken. I can't remember the details. Or maybe I'm thinking of, not Don't Nod, but what's the name of that? The people, Telltale. I'm thinking of Telltale a little bit. And, yeah, like you get worried about it a little bit as far as that goes, because you know it's going to lead to some layoffs. And I don't think they're a really big studio. I wonder how many people they have. It can't be more than 100 and some odd people, I would imagine. But it's pretty sad, because they make quality games, Don't Nod. They put out some good stuff. I think like we've kind of, the landscape for gaming has become so weird over time, where people don't really support the wide gamut of games like we used to. And I know the economy doesn't help, you know what I mean? But I think that's kind of what it's come down to lately. Like we'll put the money into these major AAAs and stuff, but we don't really support the AA's and such like that they typically give out. So it's unfortunate. I still have to myself get banishers, and to me, it's not even a matter of I didn't want to support it, but that I have so many other games to get to. Maybe that's also part of the problem. We got a oversaturation of games, so we don't have the time to play some of these other games. They kind of fall to the wayside. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. Like, I don't necessarily think that they need to be acquired, or anything like that. Like, I don't think they're in huge financial risk, but I don't know. I'd be sad to see them go. They make a lot of really good games, or games that I like at least.
Yeah, 100%.
So.
Soil Tech said he wasn't trying to flex. Forget I wrote that too late.
It's fine.
Now
You're
I'm gonna have you as on retainer for free.
Yeah, you better.
Pro bono work.
We're gonna need them because we don't know how the law works at all. Really.
Right. I expect free labor from you, Soil Tech. But yeah, what else do we have, man?
Let's see. Speaking of layoffs, Bandai Namco is laying off people, but not really, because in Japan you can't really do that. So the way that they've done it instead is they canceled a bunch of games and then took the people that were working on those games and put them in a room and gave them nothing to do until such time as they applied to other jobs.
That is very
Which,
bizarre.
like, I don't know, maybe I'm different. I would 100% clock in and just sit in that office for 8 hours.
100%. Sit over there like, it's break time.
And then I would need a Steam Deck. That would be the use case for it.
I swear. They're like, you can't play games on the clock. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, because apparently it's super hard to like lay people off in Japan. I know it's incredibly hard to quit in Japan. Like, they will grill your ass, and sometimes they will use it as a way to like blacklist you, basically, from other companies. They'll be like, oh, well, like, this guy didn't want to do this job and he's terrible, and like, I don't know, the workplace culture of Japan is frankly toxic.
Yeah, I've heard. Yeah, especially how they have people work the overtime and stuff like that. And,
it's rough. So these people are getting laid off, but kind of not, because like most of them are gonna be able to find new jobs before they're technically like officially let go. So I don't know. It's a weird like gray area, but it is still gross. Arguably more gross, depending on sort of where you fall on it. But some of the games that they canceled are, apparently there was one based on One Piece, one based on Naruto, and one that had been commissioned by Nintendo. So no clue necessarily what those were. But they are
popular. Those are some popular franchises too.
Yeah, I'm curious about the Nintendo one.
Yeah,
because the only one I know for a fact that like Bandai makes for them is Smash. So I almost wonder, like, are they working on another fighting game or something? Like, what was the situation there?
Yeah, Bobby Hawk was saying in Japan you need to have formal resignation. Plus, you need to have your new bosses tell you why they want you, and you need to have your old bosses tell you why you need to leave. You need to leave for Japan to just quit.
Yeah,
Sheesh.
Quitting in Japan is a nightmare. Apparently,
quitting is, you don't just quit. Here we quit. I'm out of here. Over there,
in
like,
America, you honestly, a lot of people just stop showing up.
Pretty much.
Like, I've worked at, I mean, maybe not at like actual career jobs, but like that guy at Target, yeah, his ass is just not coming in tomorrow.
It's true. Yeah, they just don't show up.
Yeah.
So that's
I've never
funny.
done that. I've always done the 2-week notice because I'm not an animal. But I've had some jobs where I considered it.
Yeah, I think I've done it for one job that I barely started, and it was so directionless. They didn't have like anyone show me what was up. I didn't know what to do. I was just like, you know what? I'm not coming back to this. And it's far away from my home, like an hour to get to it. I'm like, this is not worth that. So yeah, but other than that, I'm pretty reliable to show up for work. Like, I don't ever call off.
Yeah.
Like, I'm one of those people that just always show up. Although I might be like a few minutes behind or sometimes here and there, but like, I always show up. So, but no, yeah, we quit. We just quit here in Japan. They like, you don't quit. I'm sorry that I'm sorry I just did their voice like that. You you have dishonored our company. I imagine.
I don't even know if it's that. I think it's literally just like they get really pissy about it because they already don't have enough people to do the work in most cases.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's toxic.
Yeah. Cap said, he said, I saw you in that Uber going to that place. Yeah. I shared that infamous photo with the guy that pulled up in a Jurassic Park themed party truck from Uber, and he had Yoshi on the top of the car chilling. And
hell yeah, brother.
It was dope. He on the outside of the door, he had Jurassic Park, the symbol, whatever, for Jurassic Park. He had the little tiger stripes, whatever, on it, in a neon green and all that, and the inside and lights and though it looked like hookah cables, but I guess we're like really that's what it looked like. But it was like really charging ports and stuff for the phones.
Yeah.
It looks really fun, and I didn't know it until someone pointed it out. But he had aluminum foil on the steering wheel. I'm like, the hell? Yeah, it was really all over the place. So I'm sure he's pretty popular with the ladies. I imagine, as far as they going out to party, whatever. Woo!
Our party bus is here, ladies.
We gotta get the Mario themed party bus for our for our bridal shower or whatever.
It's a me, Marido.
What else do we have, man?
Let's see. Hey, the God of War show is apparently not doing well and actually restarting from scratch.
That surprised me a little bit right there. The guy, he
so
left, right?
Yeah, I'll be honest. I forgot that the show was even gonna exist. Their executive producer or potentially producers, it's unclear. Just were like, nah, I'm good, and just like left. So that's not a great sign, and it's especially unfortunate considering that like that Horizon show is basically dead in the water too.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just another thing for PlayStation right now where it's like, how is this the thing that like how are these the ones that aren't working out? But you put out Twisted Metal, and like that show was pretty ass. And there's still people who will defend that show, but it was pretty ass.
I have not watched it yet. My instincts tell me that it's ass. So
it's not great.
Some people are like, "Oh, it's really good." I'm like, "Is it though?" I haven't checked it out, so I can't judge it. But it didn't look like it was going to be good to me.
I watched the first like 3 episodes, and I will go no further.
You shall not pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My journey ends here. Sorry.
This is the end of my journey. I'm afraid. But yeah, I haven't watched it. I didn't think it was going to be that good. And I like Anthony Mackie and everything, but nah. But yeah. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know you guys could hear that. Yeah, someone's car alarm is going crazy, so I'll mute myself for a second.
I heard it, but I wasn't going to say anything. I'm like, maybe they'll stop by the time we finish getting through this conversation. But it's like, it's just going crazy out there. Bop, bop. But, yeah, on the show thing, man, I don't understand the situation. I'm sure they'll get it together. Some major IP for PlayStation. I'm sure they'll find somebody. And Sony is, I mean, the one good positive about them in this whole situation is they have the works there to bring in anybody as far as directors or actors and stuff like that as they run a movie studio. So they're multimedia in that way. So I think it'll work out for them in the long run. When it comes to this, also too, like they have the whole Leveled Up show coming up too. That's going to feature Kratos.
Yeah, it's going to feature Kratos and Concord.
Yeah. Oh, Concord.
Wait,
Concord in it too?
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a Concord episode, and everyone's like, "Are you sure?"
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I forget exactly what all the ones were. There was a 40K one. I remember that.
I did see that. I saw him even in the advert. I saw the Titus or whoever in the background.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting with Concord. Concord, maybe they could turn that into like a little show or something like that or something. Maybe. Seems like that'll work for that world if they really build on the war and stuff like that and characters. Yeah. Oh, that's part of why I said I feel like Concord, part of his failure was not having a single player component of a campaign. Like something that really gives you a story. It's the same reason why I don't play Overwatch. I need a single player component. I can't just be running around just shooting at people all day. You know, and these characters you have are so unique and charming in a way. But if I feel like it's a waste not to have a story to expand on.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Oh, so here it is. I've got the episodes. I've got the chat logs. So there's 15 episodes, and they are Armored Core, which is interesting, Concord, which Crossfire again, Dungeons and Dragons, which is not a video game but fine, Exodus, which I don't know what that is, and its name here is not even clickable, so that's a choice.
Exodus. Is that the one that like robot? I think they showed. Yeah.
I have no idea. Honor of Kings, Mega Man, New World Aeternum,
Nice.
Pac-Man. This one just says PlayStation, so I guess that's the Astro Bot one. Sifu, Spelunky, The Outer Worlds, Unreal Tournament, and Warhammer 40k. So I'm interested in like tops 4 of these episodes.
Some of those, yeah. Some of those, I'm interested in a Sifu one. I can see some nice martial arts or something like that, and maybe it'll show like the evolution of them aging and being reborn or something. I can see them doing something artsy with that, because it's all like an anthology series, right? Basically.
Yeah. None of these episodes are connected. I can't imagine how they possibly could be.
Yeah. So I'm interested in Sifu, definitely Warhammer, God of War for sure. See what they might do with that, and yeah, the unknown one. With
Oh,
robot,
you know what?
That might be okay.
God of War isn't listed here, so that must be the PlayStation one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe so. Or maybe they'll have it where they kind of do like a mixture of PlayStation IP in it or something. I wonder. Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
But in other weird news that is TV show adjacent, we got the cast for that Claire Obscure Expedition 33, whatever the hell that game.
Oh man,
That looks like really
I
good.
just call it Expedition 33. I don't even, that whole Claire Obscura stuff is whatever.
Yeah, that's fair. So they announced a couple of the people who are going to be in it. There's really 2 that stand out. Is Charlie Cox of Daredevil fame is going to be playing a character called Gustav. And Andy Serkis is going to be doing the voice for Renoir.
You know,
So,
I have to give them credit for this cast though. Insane cast.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
you said those 2, but there are really some other ones. Ben Starr, who I actually loved in Final Fantasy 16. I thought he did a great job.
Oh yeah, he's okay, I guess.
Yeah, he's pretty solid to me. He voiced Clive. If you haven't played Final Fantasy 16, I think he did a superb job in Final Fantasy 16. Like Final Fantasy 16 had its faults, but I don't think voice acting was one of them. That he did a really, really good job. They have Jennifer English from Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh yeah, she was Shadowheart.
Yeah, Christy Ryder from Sandman. Shyla Nix. That's a cool name, by the way. Shyla Nix, not Shyla. Shala. Shala. Shala la la la. Shyla Nix is from the old guard. Of course, Andy Serkis being
no
the
idea what that
highlight.
is.
I don't either, being honest.
Old
but
guard? No idea.
I don't either. But Andy Serkis obviously being the cream of the crop of this cast. I would say the top 3 for me is him, Charlie Cox, and Ben Starr. Those, and I'm sure Jennifer English is super talented in her own way as well. Haven't seen enough of her to fully judge, but the 3 gentlemen here I can definitely vouch. I mean, we both can vouch for.
Did you play Baldur's Gate?
I've played just I've watched some of it. I haven't gotten a chance to play it yet. I own it though. Yeah. But I've watched my buddy play it, and I watched clips and stuff like that online and seen the voice acting and stuff. It's really well done.
It's a long one.
Yeah.
That's gonna be. If you ever decide to sit down and do that one, it's gonna take you a hot minute.
I figured, yeah. That's kind of why I think has held me up. Like, if I get into this, then I'm gonna miss out on this and that and this. Yeah.
That's why I jumped into Shattered Space instead of Metaphor, because I was like, I just need to.
Little palate cleanser almost.
I'm gonna need a lot of time to do Metaphor.
That's the way I feel.
Take my time with it.
Yeah,
so I got to get this other one out of the way first.
That's exactly how I felt. And I was like, let me just get this out of the way, which I did. Got all the achievements, and like now Metaphor is my focus right now. So yeah. Did we have anything else, or that's about it?
Just 2 more. They're sort of bigger ones, I guess.
Yeah.
So Craig Duncan took over for Xbox Studios. He's the
Amazing.
guy who was in charge of Rare before. Alan Hartman, previously from Turn 10, is retiring and being replaced by Craig Duncan. I don't know how much of a change that this will have. Honestly, probably none. But the one thing I could see is like Rare is viewed as pretty consistently reviewed as like one of the best places to work in the games industry. People really love it there. And it's also a studio that like really embraces creativity and like fun ideas. So I feel like as a leader, he will probably do both of those things. So I think he'll be good for the job. I'm excited for it. And I think that there's a possibility that this means that we will see a slightly higher number of like passion project style games like the Pentiments or the Grounded.
Yeah, I'm all for that. I mean, because Grounded came out really well. I remember leaving friends behind as they were devoured by spiders. Multiple
You said I don't mess with spiders. That you got to deal out with yourself.
Hey, listen, these 8-legged freaks ain't getting me. I can't.
It's not my problem.
Listen, feet. I'm gonna go back to an old time saying, feet, don't fail me now, because I'm out of here. But
does the Scooby Doo like bongo feel
right?
on the way out? I'm out of here.
But
you ain't catching me.
No, sir. No way, no how. Hartman, by the way, had been with Microsoft, I believe, 36 years.
Oh yeah, he's been there forever.
It's a long time, man.
Well, you have to imagine, like Turn 10 is one of their, because remember back in the 360 era, they owned like 4 studios, and Turn 10 was one of them, and he was there the whole time. Like you can go back to old ass E3s, and he's the dude that brought out on stage.
Yeah, that's crazy. So a very well earned retirement for Hartman, and
yeah, he did some good work too. Like Turn 10 doesn't necessarily get the same flowers as Playground.
They don't,
just because Horizon sort of took off and was a lot more fun. But like the tech was made at Turn 10, and that's
absolutely
impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to Turn 10, shout out to Alan Hartman. Enjoy your retirement, brother.
Yeah,
and shout out to Duncan, Craig Duncan.
Yeah,
moving on up
for what I have to assume is a pretty sizable promotion.
Definitely, because he's like he's over Xbox Game Studios itself, right?
Yeah, so just the studios, not like Bethesda or Activision. They have their own thing,
right?
And then
of course, Booty is above all of them.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Booty's on the pedestal, and then you got Duncan, and I don't know the other 2 people because whoever it was that took over Pete Hines, and then I don't know who's over on the Activision side.
Yeah.
Very last thing I got here is Nintendo had a really big leak, specifically Game Freak, but Nintendo was wrapped up in it a lot. Because technically they don't own Game Freak, even though Game Freak makes the Pokemon games, and everyone always wants to make the distinction whenever people are like, oh, Nintendo doesn't make bad games, and then you're like, well, the Pokemon games are kind of ass, and they're like, well,
that's Game Freak.
Like, all right, dude. Anyway, just to get ahead of that comment, a ton leaked. It was basically like several terabytes, I think, or at least 1 terabyte, but it was all like beta sprites and source codes, which are going to make the modders and the hackers very happy. And some really weird stuff came out too, like basically fan fiction furry type stuff that is like also borderline child endangerment. That's like I don't know what's going on here, guys. But as part of it, we did get the code name for the Switch 2. It's being called Ounces, presumably because it's light, or possibly because it's selling crack.
I'm your pusher man. Nintendo serving up that gaming crack to us. Yeah.
There was a lot that came out in this leak, and it was getting sniped. Like those were putting up stuff, and they were getting taken down immediately. Like even on Reddit and like 4chan, those posts were going up and coming down. Nintendo does not mess around.
Yeah.
Do not come for Nintendo. They will get you. No, don't talk about the Typhlosion lore, Captain. Get out of here. Don't talk about it. We can't talk about it.
Listen, I was
get demonetized.
I was worried even putting them on a thumbnail one time. I was like, should I do that? And people were like, don't do it. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I think you can put them in the thumbnail. It's probably fine, but it depends. Like you definitely can't show gameplay because if they see it and don't like it, they'll just be like, nah, that's my video now.
Yep. I made sure not to ever show any gameplay, and I've been playing Legend of Zelda, by the way. I haven't played it lately, but I have started. I got probably midway through for Echoes of Wisdom.
Really? I
Yeah.
would not have thought that that was like your game.
Yeah, like I like to try to play a ton of games, but I will say this because I was having this discussion with fellas earlier too, just to kind of throw it out there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, it's just by default a Nintendo game has to be Game of the Year nominated. I don't think Echoes of Wisdom is worthy of Game of the Year nomination. I'm just going to be as honest
No,
as I
I
can.
mean, it was reviewed really high, but like in terms of how Nintendo is usually reviewed, it was actually like kind of on the lower side of it.
Yeah.
It will absolutely get nominated at least for like best family game or something.
For sure.
But
yeah, probably along with Astro.
But
or
I
something.
wouldn't expect it to be. Yeah, Astro probably win that, honestly.
Mhm.
But I wouldn't expect it to be nominated for Game of the Year. It definitely won't win Game of the Year.
Yeah, I don't think it will either this year. I think this year
Astro might win Game of the Year. It
Better-
won't deserve it, but it might win.
Astro does not deserve it. I'm gonna just say that Astro is a good game. I don't think it deserves Game of the Year either. I think Metaphor might surprise us this year. It might take it.
I hope it gets nominated. Yeah.
Yeah, it should. I hope so.
Ooh.
It scored exceptionally well. It's doing well critically and then sales wise. So from the fans and everybody. So we'll see. What was? Do we have one more?
That's the last one I got.
Okay.
We're
So
good to talk Shattered Space.
let's talk Shattered Space, and I guess we'll kind of keep it somewhat succinct because we do have to get to the partner preview. Although we don't
That's
have
fair.
to spend a whole bunch of time on a partner preview either.
No,
to
I
be
mean the
fair.
partner preview is good, but there's not like a ton to talk about with it. To be fair.
Yeah, I'll let you start off. What was your general thoughts of Shattered Space, and like how far do you think you've gotten so far in it?
So based on the like progress achievements, because most of the achievements for the DLC are like finish this quest, finish that quest.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like halfway through. Maybe I've put maybe 6-7 hours in. A lot of that has been just kind of like messing around. To be fair, I really like it. I think it's really good. It's I don't think that it's necessarily like Bethesda's best expansion ever,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like pretty good. Like I would put it probably like top 15 DLCs that they put out. Like not as good as Nuka World, but maybe as good as like maybe like just below Far Harbor, maybe.
Okay, it's just funny
I
you
don't
say
know.
that because MJ Plays earlier, my buddy, he said they were saying it's going to be like New Harbor, but he said he said he didn't think, or Far Harbor, he said he didn't feel like anything like that. So it's funny you say that because
It doesn't feel like it
Yeah.
tone wise, like it's very different, but in terms of quality, I would say yeah, it's pretty much on bar with that. But to
Okay.
be fair, I'm weird in my opinion there because a lot of people say Far Harbor's like the best one ever. So if he's one of those guys, he's not going to agree with me at all. I think Nuka World's the best one ever, but that's not a common opinion. So
you talking about as far as all Bethesda works.
yeah, I think
Okay.
Nuka World is probably like their best DLC ever.
I've never played
like,
Nuka World DLC, but I did play like Shattered Isles, for instance. From
Shadow Isles is good.
yeah, that's a
Yeah.
classic right there. So that was my
Shadow Isles,
problem.
Knights of the Nine, we love those.
Mm-hmm.
Those are good times.
Oh yeah.
What was the vampire one in Skyrim? It was like Dawn Treader,
Uh,
no, Dawn Treader's a Narnia book. What the hell was it? Dawn Seeker? I don't remember.
I cannot remember either.
That one was good too. I really like that one.
Yeah, classic stuff, man. That's why Oblivion is still just on my Mount Rushmore right there.
That's a good game. Good ass game.
Good ass game. But yeah, but like, how far would you say you've gotten in the Shattered Space?
I think like probably halfway. It's not. It's hard to say storyline wise, so I'm basing it just entirely based on like the achievement progress.
Mhm.
It could. Everyone keeps saying like it's super fast. I finished it in like 4 hours, and I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't understand how you could have possibly done that. There's so much side content that I've been getting into. Like I just did like these two assholes were trying to shoot each other. Dawnguard. Thank you.
Dawn,
Byron.
yeah, thanks. That's it.
These
Dawnguard.
two assholes like brothers were just trying to murder each other, and I had to make them stop doing that. So like that was fun. The planet that you go to is really cool and interesting, and like different colors, and all the like wildlife on it is insane. Like there's so much to do on this planet. This is exactly what I wanted. This DLC really answers a lot of the problems that I had with Starfield personally.
What was that? That you
Where
had?
between this and the update, because I haven't played since my first like launch playthrough. I didn't go back and do like the Rev 8. So a lot of the stuff that I'm
Same
gonna
for
be
me.
happy about with this is
Yeah.
also just like the updates. So maybe that's also why I'm slightly higher on it than most people.
Hmm.
Is like the Rev 8 is really cool. I love the the new maps. Honestly, didn't think they were gonna help that much. They really help. They're pretty useful, especially
Yeah?
when you're in one of these cities. Like they're pretty good and they look really cool. So I'm down for that. Like the ability to go in and mess with the difficulty I haven't done super hard. They've added a bunch of like the creations. Some of the ones that you can get from that are really interesting. There's a couple that are from Bethesda that are basically like mini DLCs that I've been going into, because basically the only reason I think I'm not done with Shattered Space right now is because when I opened the game back up, I was like, oh, I had just gone through the Unity, so I'm at square one, and I was like, well, I know because we're going to like House Varun type shit, I need to at least get far enough into the game to get Andreja, because I'm not doing this DLC without it.
You know, I've been
Like-
doing it solo. I did it solo, man. Like ever since.
Really?
Since I've been going through the Unity. Like I'm on my 4th, I think, Unity, going through it, and it's weird. It's so weird because I feel like I have become like that hunter guy where you start to get like distance from the people that around you. Like I'm like indifferent toward them now, because it's like you're not my Sarah. You know
You're
what I
not
mean?
my Sarah. Yeah, I'm kind of, I don't know. I definitely still really like some of the companions from this game. Sarah and Barrett are just boring to me. They're like very generic. I
Yeah.
enjoy Vasco, even though he's just a robot. But really, I think their best ones are Andreja and Sam. I think Andreja and Sam are like genuinely really, really great companions. I think they're very interesting and have a lot going on. So I love them. So I needed to get at least far enough into the game to get them. And then I was like, well, I don't really like the Frontier. Like, I want to get the Starhawk, which is actually the Star Eagle, but then I paint it black and I call it the Starhawk because I think it's cooler.
Looks like the bat plane
A little bit,
right?
Batwing, yeah, for sure.
Batwing, should I say? Yeah.
And so I had to do that. So I spent a lot of time like getting the game state to a position where I was like, and now I want to go and do the thing. And then I jumped into it, and that first mission on the space station is so cool.
Yeah, that's what I got
That's
playing
it, like,
right now. Yeah.
I was sold immediately. I was like, this is a really great idea. Andreja's like piping in every couple minutes about like the story going on with this guy on I forget what the name of the space station was called, but she's like got a ton of things to say about him. And then we land and she's like, oh my God, I'm back. It's been so crazy. Like I didn't think I'd ever see this place again. Like that kind of stuff. Like she's got a lot to say in this DLC, and I cannot imagine having gone back and done this without her. Like I honestly think we may have had very different experiences because of that alone.
Yeah, maybe. She became more of a chatty patty in this one, huh?
I wouldn't say like chatty, like she's not like talking too much, you know. She's not like getting annoying,
Right.
but a lot of time you'll like, it's usually like at the start of a quest, and then like when something big happens, and at the end of a quest, she'll be like, oh, so this is that. Wow, cool. And she won't like start a conversation about it. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't like pull you into the like chat dialogue. She'll just like say it, you know.
Okay.
So some of it's pretty missable, I guess, if you weren't like paying attention.
I always found it funny, like when you could travel with a companion, and it, like for instance, it was Sarah for me in my first world, and it's like, oh, I have a gift for you. Here's a twig. I was like, what the hell? Get this away from me.
Thanks, dude. I'll throw that at my outpost, I guess, and then when I put it with 400 other ones, I'll be able to make a chair
Right.
or something.
I was like, get this dang twig away from me, Sarah. What am I supposed
They
to do?
all
with
give you
this?
like different things too, and I forget which one's which. One of them will just give you ammo, and I'm like, hell yeah. Like, maybe that's Sam. Is it Sam who does ammo? I don't remember.
It sounds like something Sam would do. Here's some ammo, partner. I don't know. It's I can see that.
Yeah.
Sarah is a goody two shoes. What up, Pete? And what's up, Palpatine? What's up, Kay? What's up,
For sure.
Abdel? My brother, talk that shit, as he would say. What's up, everybody? I see you all. Thank you all for coming through. Oh, yeah, Pyro. Yeah, I know the Dawn Guard was for Skyrim. I think in the confusion of what we were all saying, I was trying to say, all those are good DLC.
Yeah. Oh, Dawn Guard's Dawn Guard Skyrim, and it's very good.
Yeah, like Knights of the
Dawn Guard is
Nine.
probably one of my favorite ones.
Like
Knights of the Nines and Shivering Isles. Those
are both Oblivion, right?
Oblivion.
We were just kind of muddled our words, so I kind of was like, Dawn Guard is good too, but I didn't mean that for that. But yeah. But yeah, for me, I will say I had this somewhat of the same experiences with you with the Rev 8, because I only played it now. I never dabbled into it until this DLC, so it was a new experience to try it out. I like it. I will say it gives that kind of Halo Warthog driving simulation.
Oh yeah, a little bit. I can see that. Yeah.
I would say slightly less controlled, though. I think Halo does the Warthog control better, but it's not.
Oh yeah, almost certainly.
Yeah, but it's not bad. It's just you have to put the camera in a direction properly.
This might be like the first proper vehicle in a Bethesda game. I might be wrong on that. There's definitely mods.
Oh, that's
for
a good point. Yeah.
But there's horses in like Skyrim and shit, but I don't think they've done a car.
Yeah. Now that you mentioned it, I didn't even think about it that way, but you're right. It's
So,
cool that they added that though. I like that they did that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I will say it is odd though when you like go to a planet or something. For instance, if you like, I'm using now the
Pete's coming for you.
what do you say? Halo. Hey, hey, now, don't you talk about Unreal like that? What's up, AJH? He said, what did he say? Did this start early? No, we started on time. We actually started a little bit behind AJH. We started like 7:15 tonight for us, but yeah. I'm contractually obligated to fight you on this, Pete. But
Yeah. Otherwise, the check doesn't come in.
that's right. But no, like as far as a vehicle thing, that's pretty cool that they added that. It's just funny. Like for instance, I have like even no matter which spaceship you have, unless you have a really ridiculously sized spaceship, it always seems so odd to just see the Rev 8 there when you land on another planet. It's like where you come from because you can't fit inside my ship.
Yeah.
It's just weird to see it there. Like I hope that's one thing. That's one of my actual complaints is that Cygnus, don't you even try it. He's like, oh, it's a multi-plat friendly engine.
Oh no, he's coming at you.
He's trying to insinuate that Halo is going to be multi-plat. Oh boy, oh brother. Unreal Umbra. That's right, King Web. But yeah, like the one thing I do love the shipbuilding in Starfield. I like it a lot. I put tons of hours into making ships. That's which is sad to me because that's in my first world and I cannot access them anymore. So it discouraged me to make new ones in my fourth world. But I will say like one of the things, even though I love the ship making, one of the things I felt that they could have, or I hope that they actually expand on a sequel if they make one, is to really go all out. I don't want like the blocky, design, and I want a more robust design idea, because if you have the Rev 8, don't you have to have a cargo hold to put that stuff? Like that's where my head goes. I start thinking about the Normandy, for instance, in Mass Effect.
I definitely thought that too. I was like, am I gonna have to add like a garage to my ship for this to work? And I'm glad they didn't do that, because it would be really annoying. To be like, oh, now all of the ships that I have to add like a big dumbass cube to the back to keep my car in. But you're right, it is a little awkward.
It is a little awkward.
And my car's here now.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe it's got space technology, like bolts into a cube or something.
Right. It flew through faster than light transportation to where you were at.
It turns into a suitcase and we just put it in the cargo bay.
Yeah. Like I want them to expand on that maybe on the next one and make it logical in a sense. I know they go with hard science or science fiction in this, but I don't want it to just be like, oh, it's here. I get it, but it's kind of silly at the same time. I don't know. I want them to make that a part of the building feature where the cargo hold has to be there, for storage purposes, whatever.
They just strap it to the bottom of the ship.
Right. Yeah. And that's why I want less blocky kind of design. I want something that looks more fluid. And to that end, I had dabbled a bit into the mods. Even the armor you see me in right here is a mod. Now, this is an achievement-friendly mod. You can get this actually in the creation suite. This is actually free. It's actually pretty high level too, as far as the damage output that allows for you to take or whatever. But this and the gun skin I changed from white to black for that gun you see me using. So those two are both achievement friendly, where they allow you to use them without it affecting your achievements. And
I didn't get these ones, but I have been messing with the creation kit. And there's a lot of cool stuff.
It's a lot of good stuff.
I didn't want to get the ones where it was like, this will make it so you can't get achievements. Because I want to at least my first playthrough through it, like get the achievements for it. But maybe my next time through the Unity, I'll turn off those achievements.
That's my exact thoughts. And then once I finally finished and got all the achievements, 1200 out of 1200, I looked at it and said, let me try something. So I had tried out the Millennium Falcon, and it's the official Millennium Falcon. It's not like a blocky one made out of the stuff in game. This is a Falcon that they put into the game. I don't know how these people do this stuff. They're so good. I don't know how they do this, man.
I almost wonder if they like take the file from like Battlefront or something and just shove it in there.
I
like,
wonder.
There you go.
Maybe that's what it is. That's a good point. And this guy is so good with it, where you go into the ship and move around. It looks like the internals for a ship that you put together. Dude. It's really dope. Cool. It's really dope.
I was surprised to
Yeah.
see because a lot of those are over on like the Xbox side too.
Mhm.
I was shocked because I was like,
Yeah.
is it okay for there to be like all these Star Wars mods and shit in here?
Yeah.
Like, and there were ones where it was like, put Sarah in her underwear, and I was like, Bethesda, what are we? But
What's
I
going
mean,
on
look,
here?
that's part of if that's gonna be part of the modding scene, like it
Yeah.
makes sense for them, I guess, to want to put it over on the Xbox side. I
True.
probably won't download that one because
Yeah.
I don't even want Sarah on my shit most of the time, but that's fine.
It'll spice her up a little bit, right? Maybe.
She's just kind of boring.
But yeah, I did that, and I did the silver. I think what they call it, the ebony or whatever, the one that's an all silver ship. Cannot think of the name of it right now, but I used that one as well.
I actually think I might have seen that in the Creation Club. I didn't download it because there was one because I think it was one that was not achievement friendly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is not achievement friendly at all. So I waited until I finished getting them all and try it out. But I actually feel like I might still do the whole Star Wars suite they have on Nexus, where you can just do the whole world into Star Wars essentially.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, I saw one where it was like replaced some of the NPCs with like aliens from Star Wars. And
I saw that too.
I mean, that's kind of immersion breaking, but it would be cool.
Yeah, as I said the same. I'm like, I have to really just
like that is neat.
Yeah,
that's just a different game at that point though.
And right.
Yeah, I like the ones that are like lore friendly, where it's like, oh, I added a quest that's just like for fun.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Stuff like that is what I like, and I think they did add one. I forgot. It's like a
Bethesda did one
survival horror
like
one.
The Escape. Yeah.
Bethesda did
and
that
then,
one. Okay.
Yeah, that was one that's like basically a small DLC, and then there was another one that I saw on there called like The Veil that I really want to do, but that one for some reason is not achievement friendly. So I'm gonna do that after I finish the DLC.
Okay, I have to look for both of those then and try them out. Yeah. But just to get back to Shattered Space, I agree with you 100%. The starting part with the 0G gravity battles and stuff like that, loved it.
Super cool.
Yeah, it was really dope. It's funny because as I was playing, and I said this to Pete when I talked with him the other day, I was like, I had noticed I was getting not achievements, but checks for like, 6 out of whatever 10 for kills in 0G gravity. I'm like I have 400 hours in this game, and I only just had like a few kills doing a 0G gravity. It just kind of show you how much there is to do. Yeah, it's weird that I hadn't really never really done much of that.
An achievement, or was that for one of your like level up abilities?
Level up abilities. Yeah, I was trying to think of the name for it. Yeah,
that's not the name for it.
I
don't
can't
know
think of the name of it either. Yeah.
But,
yeah, I cannot think of the proper name for it, but like to level them up in such challenges, I guess, maybe challenges. Yeah, and I noticed like I hadn't really done that. I'm like, wow, why hadn't I done that? And even as I was playing along, like, grenade kills, like I can see how my playstyle is more focused on me sniping from a distance, because I'm like, grenade kills, because I tuned my gun after I had got my level up to level 4 for gun making and stuff like that too. For this gun I'm using,
crafting like at all.
Oh yeah, when you get up there, man, you can make your guns really ridiculous. So my gun here shoots off explosive rounds, which counts as explosive kills, right? So yeah. Cool. Yeah, and they added a few new guns too from the House of Arun that you can play.
There's some new guns, new melee weapons. There's some genuinely really cool stuff in this DLC. I really the hate for this, honestly, the whole game, but especially the DLC is so forced. Like I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah,
because like agree. On one hand, it's like it's not a huge departure from base Starfield. I do think that it's better than base Starfield in terms of just like it's on one planet, it's a lot more focused, it's not procedural. There's like a lot of the things that I had issues with are completely solved in this DLC, and then a lot of the other problems I had are solved in the entire game just by nature of them updating it over time. Like I haven't run into 0 bugs since I started playing again.
Yeah, I haven't had any issues. I never did though. To be fair.
And I think maybe like because pressure's off on the rest of the game, I've also been enjoying it a lot more. Like I did the Freestar Ranger storyline again, and I actually really like it. And I don't remember liking it the first time. I remember it being like kind of mid.
Yeah,
but it's actually really fun. It's really good.
I enjoyed
it. And the ship is cool. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. The hate for this game is so forced. Like I understand people not liking it, but being like, "Oh, it's a terrible game. It's the worst. Bethesda's doomed." Like, what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah, I don't know where all that hate is coming from. Like I really, get. Yeah.
The way that I'm at with it, it's like this game, I think I'm gonna catch shit for this and I don't even care. I think this game is as good as like a Fallout or an Elder Scrolls game. It just takes place in a world that I don't care about as much, or like really almost at all.
I'll say there's some things they could have done to I think spice it up for the mainstream audience. And that's
Oh, absolutely.
and that's stuff like cutscenes and stuff, right? Like one of my complaints for Starfield in general was that they didn't make it cinematic enough. And what I mean by that
That's
is
fair. But
you-
like Bethesda games are never really like
that's
that.
how they are exactly. That's why I say I
Yeah.
wish they kind of modernized their formula, because they have this kind of the person just focus looks at you and the camera zooms in. It's like, okay, that's
Yeah.
that's
They could
okay
fix
to start off, but like I would
The like
love
speech
a
cameras and all this.
yeah, but like I would like if they actually gave us actual set pieces or cutscenes for events that happen, major events. Like the ones I always go back to is when we fight off or when we come across that what's the name of that damn space alien where it's like a horror scene?
Oh, it's like terror or something.
The Terramorph, right?
Yeah.
That whole mission was so well done and it was so cinematic, and that was the only scene in the game, the only one where you have like a little special cutscene to introduce the alien. It's the only scene, and it stood out so
I don't even
hard.
remember the scene, to be honest.
It's when you go
Like I
through
remember
there.
the mission,
Yeah.
but I don't remember like a cutscene.
So basically, when you're going through the town / habitat, whatever,
Yeah.
and you open up the shutter or whatever it is, you look out and you see some big alien out there, and then you see the bigger alien jumps down and starts smashing them and
Oh, okay. So
thrashing
it's not
them.
like an actual cutscene. It's just like a thing that it's just like a cool, like unique animation that you're watching.
Yeah, I guess
But it's not like it doesn't like take control away from you
it
or
doesn't take
anything.
control. Well,
Okay.
you don't move, to be fair. So yeah,
Sure, fair. Yeah.
but I guess it's kind of an in-game cinematic, if you will.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do remember that actually.
Stuff like that is what I think, if they modernize their design, stuff like that is what I would like them to do. You know what I mean?
sure.
And see,
Yeah.
Pete, you agree. Like I just, and I'm not saying like I'm right on this. I just feel like that would help modernize their design, because they have this kind of outdated, in my opinion, like, oh, you did this major mission. Let me just focus my camera in on the person that gave you the mission, and I'll tell you what happened. Like, no, I want to see this. Show me. Like when you finish the whole, I'm sorry, this is a bit of a spoiler, but when you finish the whole story arc of the Terramorph, it's like, oh, what choice would you make? Do this to kill them off, or by having the other alien attack them, or do that? And it doesn't show you that. I would love to have seen that in action, a cutscene showing those
Just
choices.
the big guys like eating the terramorphs,
Something.
slurping them up like spaghetti.
Something, you know what I mean? Like that's the only thing that I would really hold. Like it didn't have, and
Yeah.
I can only compare it to its peers. So I think of stuff like Mass Effect. Mass Effect
Well,
was
but I don't-
crazy cinematic. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, but it is very much like a different style of game.
it is. I just wish that they would have embraced more of the modern style telling, and kind of go away from the whole tell you but don't show thing. I want you to show me,
Yeah,
not just tell
Well,
me.
because so for that one in particular, they do show you. It's just not really like in that. Like they don't show you a cutscene. But if you do, I forget the name of those dinosaur looking ass guys who are
I
supposed to
forgot
eat the
too.
terramorphs.
Like a giraffe
if you-
looking thing, right?
Yeah. So if you choose for that one to be like, we're gonna put these aliens on the planets where the terramorphs are, and then we won't have to worry about them. Like if
Mhm.
you do that and then go back to like Aquila or New
Or
Atlantis
J-
or whatever,
yeah,
like you can
Jameson.
see them walking around out there.
You can,
Like
yeah.
they add them to the world.
Yeah.
So it does, they do show you. It's just like you said, it's not very cinematic.
It's
Like,
not
and I hear
cinematic.
you. I
That's
hear
the
you
only
on that.
part. Yeah. That's the only
But-
point of contention, is just not cinematic enough. And I think that's kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
why I like, honestly, it sounds silly, but I think that adds up in people's thought process, because I think modern gaming design has lent itself to seeing more set pieces and cinematics like that. And this,
I hear
this
ya.
feels like a dinosaur compared, you know what I mean? In the design world.
I don't know that I would go that far. I do really think that Starfield is better than a lot of like modern RPGs that have come out. I really do.
Yeah.
It may not be cinematic, but just in terms of like what you can do in like the world building and stuff, like it's really like head and shoulders above things like I don't know, like Outer Worlds even.
Well, yeah, Outer Worlds, I would say for sure. But I don't think it's like that far away from Outer World either. Like Outer Worlds doesn't really show any cinematics like that either. Although I loved it.
No, that's
Yeah.
that's probably like the closest comparison in terms of like actual game. Is this that fucking
Yeah, I
crazy?
hear it.
Are you serious? What is happening?
Yeah.
Wow.
I will agree with you on that too, Palpatine. It could use a little bit more humor. Starfield does have this kind of sterile kind of, how do I put this? I don't want to say sterile, but it's kind of like if I had to say humor or character wise, it's kind of monotone. Does that make sense? It's not like you're like anybody's like super over the top or comical or like really charismatic. Everybody's kind of like, oh, unless you get the super fan, maybe. Yeah, maybe that might be the only one, but yeah. I will agree with that. I don't think it's super, I don't know, humorous or anything. Like I can't recall any situation where I thought, oh, that was really funny. Like I can't think of that either. Starfield needs a few more things, in my opinion, that would have really taken it to the next level. I'm not mad at what we got. I'm just saying, as far as if I wanted to make it a more complete and better package, I feel like those things would have been there. And yeah, I wouldn't compare Outer Worlds to it either for that reason, Pete, because it is a AA. But that's the funniest part to me, because even though Outer Worlds is AA, it's comparable. It's comparable to design.
It's definitely like way smaller. It's just it's that thing where like, because they are the same style of RPG. Because like comparing it to Mass Effect like doesn't really make sense to me at all.
Yeah, I agree. I get what you're saying on that. I do. I just wish, like, because this was a AAA project, and to me it should have that type of level versus being compared to a AA like Outer Worlds. That's the problem I have with it. It's
just that I don't think anyone else does games like Bethesda does.
No, I agree for sure.
Like it's a very unique.
It is
sort of style.
It is unique. I agree. I just kind of wish they would embrace more of the modern storytelling. You know, that's just a bit.
I would say, like, I agree with the like cinematic thing. I wouldn't agree with the like modern storytelling thing, because I feel like a lot of games lately, their storytelling has been kind of ass.
Yeah. The risk says pronounced mass erect. Oh, you got
that's true.
You got the extra version.
No, it's very much this thing though, where like I don't understand. Like I really don't understand the hate for this at all, because like you know what a Bethesda game is, right?
True.
Like all the complaints that I've heard about it are like, oh, why isn't it like this? Why isn't it like that? And it's like, because it's a Bethesda game. Like that's what these games are.
That is fair. I will give you that.
And this is like honestly a really good version of theirs. It's the least buggy. It has a lot of really interesting things going on. I don't necessarily care about the world as much, but I know a lot of people do. Like the sci-fi thing, just I don't really care for sci-fi that much. Typically, I'm a fantasy guy, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand it. Like, there's this. I won't name him because I still have a lot of like lingering respect for him. But there's this like really big Bethesda YouTuber who recently signed up with a PlayStation-centric podcast family.
Oh,
and
boy.
the second he did, he has just like been crapping all over Xbox and Bethesda just constantly. Like he is never happy with Xbox ever.
Why do people do that?
No idea.
Why do?
And then like, and then like all of his stuff just immediately turned into clickbait, and it was like,
I hate when people do that.
Starfield sucks, and this is dead, and he puts out like 3 videos a week, and they're all clickbait.
I can't stand the whole rage culture that's going on and everything nowadays. Like, oh, this is bad now. Like, oh, stop. And well, I always felt this way. Then you were faking before then.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, well, you should fake the happier one because they're better.
Right.
You were more tolerable then, I guess.
Right.
But then like he went and he played Shattered Space, and his review, he like blew through it in like 4 hours or something. And then he's like, oh, this is terrible. It's way worse even than the base game. There's no companions. There's no this. There's no that. And it's like, I'm a couple hours in and I know that everything you just said is wrong. Did you even play it? Like, there's multiple companions. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this. Like, the things that you were saying literally don't line up. It's like you're reading off a cue card or something. Like,
yeah,
I genuinely do not feel like he even touched it.
I heard somebody else use that one too. That they complained
like
about.
It's insane. It's genuinely insane because it's
I
like,
think Maddie Plays actually said that, if I'm not mistaken.
It's like, so what I'm getting at is like, it really feels like you just did not touch this thing at all, and you're just throwing out this opinion about like, actually it's terrible, and it's like, do you actually think that? And then this guy spent 30 minutes on his podcast talking trash about one of the devs of the game, who literally was just like, I'm proud of the work I did here. Like, I think
trashed him because of that.
And him and his co-host spent 30 minutes on their podcast just talking trash about not the game, the guy.
What?
And I was like,
damn,
the dude can't be proud of his work. Like, look, I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's not selling well, it's whatever. I mean, we're forgetting, of course, the fact that like multiple million copies of it already sold when people bought the upgrade for it. So like maybe that's not being counted. I don't know. But it's like,
Man,
The hate for this is just like so forced. I don't understand it. Like
I
this
feel like
really,
that too. And to Pete's
like, this
point in the chat,
feels
he says
like-
that. He says, let's be honest, if this game was on PlayStation, it would not have gotten half the hate. And I agree with that. He said the grift is real. 100%. Once we saw this shift of this being exclusive to Xbox, that hate started to pour in really heavy. I saw it. And I feel like if this does go to PlayStation, it probably will end up scoring better than it did on
Yeah.
Xbox.
Oh, it definitely would have. And then this same guy, I'm sorry, I'm just ragging on this guy. I won't say his name, but
No,
like
you
he's
good.
really been pissing me off lately. On that same podcast, he went off and he was like, because he's this huge Bethesda YouTuber. He's super popular, and he's made content about like Fallout and Skyrim and all this stuff forever. And like, oh yeah, I love it. It's my favorite games. He goes into this podcast. He spends 30 minutes talking shit about this guy, and then immediately after, he's like, and like that was the problem with Fallout 3 and Skyrim and like these like highly lauded, like loved games in these franchises. And he's like, those games were bad too. And it's like, what are you talking about? You built your whole channel off of these games because you love them so much. And now you sign up with these PlayStation guys and all of a sudden you don't love those games anymore. What happened?
He's experiencing greatness now, Danny. That's all it is.
Oh, and then he immediately starts like throwing FUD off at like ESO, and he's like, I don't know why anyone still plays ESO. It's like an incredibly successful MMO, but like who cares?
Right.
And he's like, oh, and this makes me really worried about Elder Scrolls 6 because like if they do this in Elder Scrolls 6, like it's not gonna be good. And it's like, okay, well, let's look at it, because this is one of the biggest like separations from reality, like perception and reality. Because perception is, if you go on Twitter, people will tell you that Starfield is terrible and it's the worst game ever. It did terrible. And then if you look at reality, you'll see, oh, it's this fastest selling Bethesda game of all time. It made more money than any Bethesda game ever. It's wildly successful. It blew all of their sales expectations like clear out of the water. It's been incredibly successful on paper in terms of numbers. Like Bethesda has every reason to be proud of it, but the internet just like won't let them, just like fully will not let them be happy with this game that they made that did extremely well.
Is that a smile you cracking over there?
Like
Stop.
Don't get it. I don't understand at all.
Yeah.
It's like, how dare you enjoy this game? How dare this game be successful? I didn't like it. And it's like, cool, dude. I didn't really like it that much at first either. But like, you can't tell me that it didn't make its money.
I think Starfield is a pretty good game, man. Like if I'm going back in hindsight, looking at the whole thing and things that I would have liked them to do, I would probably come to an 8, right, for the base game. If I'm looking at it, and I'm talking about being really critical. Like I typically am not that critical, so my scores.
I'm very critical.
Yeah, you're more critical than me. So
I'm very critical.
Mine's, I'm kind of lighthearted with mine. I'll kind of give leeway, but I think I'm fair. But I'm just I grade on, I think, more on a curve, if that makes sense. But
I hear you.
So mine's will end up being a higher score typically, maybe than some by a point or so. So for me, if I go back and I'm really critical, I think the base game, even with the faults I have with it, is about an 8, and that's just off the time I put it in and enjoy it. I can only speak for myself, but I have 400 hours in the game. I don't play that much of a game if I don't like it. It don't happen. I won't do that. You know what I mean? If I don't like the game, I'm not playing it like that. I don't care if it's Xbox first party or not. So if I have that time into it, clearly I enjoyed it enough. That's how I look at that. And two,
well, I'm kind of on the same page as you.
Yeah.
Like I would probably have given, with my first experience of the game, I feel probably would have given it like an 8. I feel like with all of the updates and stuff they've done, I probably would have bumped that up to an 8.5. Because honestly, a lot of the problems I had with it have been fixed. And then like if this DLC ends as strong as it starts, and we get like maybe one more that is as good, I'd honestly, I'd probably give the whole package like a 9.
Yeah,
like,
I would agree with that.
Game.
Yeah, I would agree with that. If they can add another solid, DLC expansion, I would agree with that. Pete said. He said, I'm grading on a curve. If it's an Unreal Engine 5, it's a 10. Everything else, 8.
Yeah,
that's
what he was really saying. He was like, I wish it was more cinematic. You know who does cinematic.
You know who does those, Will, right?
That brings us to today's sponsor,
Epic, where you can find all types of games like Fortnite,
baby,
and what's the name of that dang racing soccer game they have that they own?
Rocket League.
And Rocket League.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Epic. But no,
they didn't make that. They bought that, but still.
Yeah, hey, they own it. So. But I bought it. I spent it. It's mine.
Did they buy Fall Guys too, or am I making that up?
I think, you know what? Now that you mention it, I think they do own Fall Guys.
I think they bought Fall Guys.
Yeah, I think they do own that, actually.
Anyway, I just had to get that off my chest. It was driving me insane.
No,
Like,
yeah,
I
you're
had to,
fine,
I had
man.
to unsubscribe from this podcast and like all of like all of his channels because I was
Oh
just
wow,
like, I just can't take this anymore.
you,
Like
you weren't feeling him at
the
all.
grift
on that
is
one.
just I'm done with the grift. I
Yeah.
cannot tolerate this anymore.
The
of
grift
just,
stuff
like,
is annoying, man. You see it
it's just-
everywhere. It's very pervasive.
How many years do I have to hear Xbox is dying and then be like, oh no, what did they do? And then I look at the numbers and it's like, okay, well they have more active users than any other console manufacturer.
Right.
They make more money than PlayStation, like in terms of profit by a wide margin. They're
Mhm.
yeah, okay, well their console sales are down, but they're making it up in all these other places. Their subscriptions doing fine, like they're making huge money, they're making really good games that I care about. Like, why should I let you tell me that they're not doing well when I can look at their numbers that are public and see like, oh, they're only growing, like they've only ever improved.
My death was greatly exaggerated.
Like, why should you be able to tell me something different than what I can see with my eyes?
Yeah. I think it's like people kind of, it seems like negativity just kind of sells nowadays, man. We always knew it kind of did, but it's like it's really, and I hate to use the word again, but it's pervasive. It's like it's the thing that does numbers now. And I'm so tired of that. It's like you can't, I've even seen some YouTubers on Twitter who were complaining because it was a whole point of contention where people were talking about the rage baiters and the anti-DEI crowd. Like, I understand if you don't like DEI, right? I understand how you feel on that, but
Sure.
You've turned it into a rage baiting channel, and your everything you put out is anti this and
God forbid.
whining about DEI. It's no longer you just being upset with DEI. You're doing this as a grift now. And channels have done that. It's insane. They don't even talk about joy of gaming anymore. And now it's just, I'm mad at this. It's like, well, how do you even enjoy gaming if that's...
And it turns into this thing where it's not even just like, because there's just certain aspect of the DEI thing that I can almost get on board with, where it's like, I don't know. Oh,
yeah, there are aspects
and they
for
changed
sure.
it. Like, I can kind of understand that.
Yeah.
Maybe, but when you're looking at these channels, and I've seen them too, it's not even DEI stuff. It's like, how dare they make this character black? And it's like, it's made by a black, like
Tails Gonzara. It's a perfect example.
And it's a Nigerian team or whatever,
right?
Like at least led by a Nigerian guy. I don't remember where the team's from.
Abubakar Salem, who owns it.
Yeah. So presumably a Nigerian team.
Then, yeah. All, I believe, African, if I'm not mistaken.
Either way, even if the whole team isn't, the guy like at the head of the studio is, and he's telling us a very specific emotional story about his father.
Agreed. Yeah.
A Nigerian guy's father, and they're like, can't believe that they made him black. Like, what do you mean? What do you mean?
You telling me?
Can't believe they
you
made
telling
him
me
black?
he couldn't have been white if we wanted? We couldn't get the creation option.
He's from Nigeria.
DEI slop. Yeah, no, it's stupid, man. It gets ridiculous.
Christ.
When I saw that, I was like, that's it. We're in the brain rot era. There's nothing you can do now.
Oh, we can't put black guys in Final Fantasy 16 because that wouldn't fit up with our giant chickens and aliens that we're riding around on.
Yeah, and so Risk is saying it's an American team, but yeah, that's his point. In general, Risk is that in general,
the team's not, but the guy is.
Yeah, the guy who runs it and owns it is black, and of course he wrote it based off his father. So, and of course the Bantu mythology, but his father was the inspiration. But and the whole point of it is that it's based off of.
Even if it was a white guy doing it, like the game takes place in Africa.
Agreed, right? So
like what do you?
Yeah, it's so silly that was a complaint, and I've seen that. Do
they get mad?
Do they
get mad when you've got a character creator where like the skin color can get slid a
they
little
do.
too dark? They're like, well, hey,
listen, they
went past spray tan. I don't know.
I kid you not. It sounds silly, but I've seen them upset about vitiligo, like what Michael Jackson suffered from. The skin condition.
Was that vitiligo that did that?
That was vitiligo.
Like his whole body.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That was vitiligo that did it to him. We didn't find out
I'm
way
used to
later.
the like splotchy one. I've not seen.
Yeah.
I guess other than Michael Jackson, I've not seen like his whole whole body.
It's actually insane because I remember they talked about it. He's like, this vitiligo. I'm like, that's convenient. And then I looked at older images years later, and you can see it if you look at it. You can see it on his arms and stuff like that. You can see the vitiligo. Yeah. So, but I've seen them whine about vitiligo. That's when I'm like, okay. You all don't
put it on your character. Like, what do you care?
Right? What do you mind if somebody else gets to do it on their character? Like, what are we complaining about?
On my guy's face. I don't get mad because I can't believe they put war vet representation in this. Like, what
Yes,
do you
like,
mean?
oh, they got a pronoun? How dare you? It's
How
like,
dare
okay.
you?
I don't care for all the they, them. Like, a lot of that kind of gets annoying
Sure,
to me
just
too.
don't pick it. Just
But I don't,
put
yeah.
if you want to put a he pronoun and a penis on the same character, you go
You're
for it.
right. I don't
won't
give a
stop you.
damn. Well, that's your game. How do I know what you? I don't even care about what you're
I don't
doing.
think anyone's trying to stop you.
Right. That's so stupid. Now, I will agree with Pete on like the whole, like the homeliness that they do for some of the lady characters. I will agree that they kind of, oh, we have to be
Sure.
inclusive and make them
I do
like
feel like
homely.
most of that's like very overblown too, though, because
Yeah.
they'll straight up they'll post a picture of a character and be like, "Look how ugly they are," and then like every other screenshot of her is like gorgeous. And you're
Yeah,
like, what the hell are we talking
that's
about?
true too. Like they have done that. I think for the Star Wars Outlaws, they demolished that girl. And I'm like, that's
Yeah.
not that bad. I don't think she's
It's like,
that bad.
She's pretty cute actually. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to tell you.
They destroyed her and like, oh, see, sweet baby ink. Like I'm like, I don't think she's that bad.
You
Like,
found the one screenshot where she doesn't look super hot. Sorry, dude. Sorry
Yeah.
that upset you. I guess she needs to be in full Vogue mode every
Right,
scene of every.
right.
I don't know. Pisses me
Yeah.
off. Straight up pisses me off. I can't stand that shit.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird on that part when it gets too far. Like I agree with some of it, but then they start taking it to the extremes. It's like, all right, y'all gotta, you need some help. Go touch some, go pay for a woman or something. Do something. Like something is wrong. Like there should not be this much angst in you over this small, minuscule nothing of a subject.
Right.
And
Ironically, like in the case of Kenzera Zhao, a lot of the hate for it probably got it more sales.
I hope it did.
Unironically,
I hope it did. Yeah.
because it was like such a small game that may not have like gotten the attention.
Pete,
otherwise.
don't get me started on Mary Jane and Spider-Man 2. Don't even get me
Mary Jane.
started.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
I'll get annoyed because I have so many issues with that. Not just how they made her look, because I'm a comic book fan as you are, Danny, and
Sure.
my Mary Jane is a supermodel. So when they did this,
Yeah.
she's more grounded and like, and also she's a superhero. Like stop that.
Yeah, I don't care really about how she looked. I thought she looked fine, but yeah, the writing for her was bad.
It was bad, and the whole
Yeah,
emasculation
for
of
sure, for
Pete
sure.
that they did in the game, I did not like that one bit. Where he was just accepting blame. I'm sorry, right? I'm like, what? You didn't do?
Yeah.
You
Well, he
didn't
was
do
in his-
anything. What are you talking
he was
about?
in his sad boy era. You
Yeah,
were
his
lucky
sad
didn't
boy
do
era.
it- That he wasn't doing the like finger guns down the street like Spider-Man.
Yeah,
3,
right,
or,
right.
You know.
Yeah, like some of that I didn't care for. I'll just say, but I'm not. We can't get all the way into it right now. Let's move
No,
to
we don't
this.
got time.
If I wanted to give
a
a
preview, baby.
yes. If I wanted to give a score for the show,
Yeah.
I guess I would say I think it was like an 8 out of 10.
I think I'm in the same park. Because
yeah.
I would say B.
I think they did a
Like-
really good job with this one, man. And I guess let's switch to this. Let me let this play. And mute that before we get copyright stricken.
Would you put a Nintendo thing up real fast?
Yeah, I know, right?
We flashed the Nintendo logo. All the money goes to the
All of it goes to them now. But like for this show, I guess we'll get it out of the way. Guys in the chat, tell us what you scored this the showcase. For me,
Yeah.
I think overall it was about an 8 out of 10. Oh, for Starfield, by the way, I think the DLC for me was probably about a 7.5, if not an 8 out of 10
Sure.
overall. And
I will reserve my number until I actually finish it.
yeah, and again, the scoring system has been skewed so much on what we think on whatever scoring, because 7 is good, but
Yeah.
people like 7, that's
7,
terrible.
Yeah.
Right, but I think 7.5, if not an 8. I enjoyed it. I think the last mission itself in the main mission was really solid too, by the way. Just to throw it out there. I think you'll like it when you get to it, Danny. But
Yeah, dude.
yeah, but I think you might like it. If you're liking it more already than me, I think you'll like it even more by the end. So I'll say maybe a 7.5, if not an 8 for the expansion. I'll say 7.5 just to be concrete. But
Sure.
yeah, so we have here Alan Wake's DLC. That's one of the highlights of the showcase here. Looks really good. I wonder, can I play this? If I put volume on, will they get us, you think?
I mean, I don't remember if any of the trailers had like licensed
Music
music.
or
I
anything?
really don't. Yeah.
Let me see. Alan Wake 2.
Alan Wake, baby. We'll be talking over a lot of it anyway, so as long as it's like pretty quiet, it should.
Yeah.
It theoretically shouldn't.
Transformative.
Yeah.
So the lake house.
I'm excited for this. I haven't gone back and played the first DLC for Alan Wake, but I really want to. As soon as I find time, I'm gonna do that. Maybe I'll do both of them like combo pack style.
Yeah, it looks really
But
good.
I loved Alan Wake 2. That was like my game of the year last year, and this Lake House one looks especially good.
That was my brother Caps. His game of the year was Alan Wake. He kept talking about.
He's got good taste.
Yeah,
It's a good ass game.
absolutely. Now this one surprised me, and for a lot of people, this was their game of the
Oh,
show.
Chronos New Dawn.
Yeah,
I don't know what the hell this is.
I don't either. And
I'm so confused by this game.
they were like Dead Space. Like, nah, it's not Dead Space, but I
It's
see
got
why
some
they
of that
thought
tone.
it.
Like, yeah, it's definitely got that like Cronenbergish like body horror thing going on. So I definitely understand. Like, I get that comparison.
100%.
But it's almost like it's definitely, I don't know, maybe just from the trailer, my impression is that it's more violent. Which sounds insane to say about a game where you literally have to
right.
cut their legs off
Ribs
and
off
like
the
stomp
limbs,
on them until the
yeah.
ammo pops out.
Yeah.
But something about this just like, I don't know. I'll be honest, I'm not super excited for this. But I do think it looks good.
It looks. It's probably the. If I had to say, like, it's probably the most cinematic / high budget looking game I've ever seen Bloober put out.
Oh, Bluebird, yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Like, yeah.
absolutely.
Because you look at their other games, it's like nowhere near as cinematically or at least budget
No,
I mean,
that
production
Bloober,
wise is like
that
this.
Bloober logo popped up, and I was pretty convinced it was just going to be the Silent Hill 2, like coming over to Xbox in a couple months or whatever.
Yeah.
Because we know that's a timed exclusive, right? So that's coming over like 6 months or something.
Exclusive.
So that was my assumption. But then they were like, no, whole ass new game. I was like, what's going on over at Bloober?
Yeah.
That they're able to put out games that are, because the Silent Hill 2 is getting really good reviews. I'm interested in playing that. But like putting out games at a pretty fast clip that are doing decently well. Like Silent Hill 2, I don't know if it's selling well, but like reviewing really well. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy. Because this is next year, right? They said 2025 for this?
I believe so. I have to see. I forgot. This part was funny when he stood up like this. I'm like, what you about to do to this lady? She was like, I'm ready. I thought he's about to smash her head in or something at first.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he is killing her.
Yeah. Chronos, the new dawn. She must have lost the
think-
chess game, by the way. Did she lose? Is that why he killed
No,
her?
she was no. So it's like really subtle, but her finger was twitching while she was doing the thing. So she was like probably transforming into one of those monsters. She was
Yeah.
like infected, I think.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I can definitely see the Dead Space vibes. I can see why people feel that. Visually, it looks nice, I have to say.
It's like somewhere between Dead Space and what's it called? Strain? What was that one? The like launch title?
I see.
Anyway, then we had Blind Fire, right?
Yeah, the one that
This is the one you were saying looked like Perfect Dark.
Exactly.
Which I don't understand, but I do think it looks good.
it looks because it has a little digital display of the gun, and it looks very similar to the new representation of Perfect Dark in that way.
I can see that. I see what you mean. It almost makes me think the art that they pop up for it, like the logo with and all that, makes me think more like Cyberpunk. But it's really clearly its own thing too. Like
You can
I
also
didn't look at
tell
it- look
this
it up
isn't
after the
gameplay.
fact.
If you look at this, you
No,
can,
yeah, this
you
is
can tell it's
definitely, like,
not.
no.
Some
It's
people
the
are
assumption
thinking
that
like
this
this
is-
VR because the way it's floating around.
No,
That's when I
it's
knew it
just
wasn't
a-
actual gameplay.
Yeah, it's just a fake ass game.
Yeah.
I think this is what, some kind of arena shooter. You would have to assume like this is
Pretty
the whole
certain.
game.
Yeah, I think it's
I mean,
prototype.
I'm interested in that. I don't know that I'll necessarily play it, but if like other people get into it, maybe I'll jump in with them.
Yeah,
You
if
know?
you guys are excited for this, let me know. It's available today for people to try out.
Oh,
So-
in beta or something?
Yeah,
Well, I guess we'll hear pretty fast whether or not it looks as good as the trailer did.
very true.
Yuck is
Yes.
next, yeah.
So
So
Well, no,
this
but
one I
they
am
didn't
actually
know.
excited for. I know that you've got to like play 6 other games or something. Before
I
you
know,
allow
right?
yourself to
Yeah,
play this
I got a
one.
lot to go through. Yeah.
But I'm pretty excited. I still have to play Infinite Wealth actually, so I'll probably play that first.
Yeah.
Because this one I think maybe veers a little too far into the like goofy nature of Yakuza for me. I'm sure it'll have like a really heartfelt story because they always do. But I don't know. This trailer looks super fun, and I'm definitely interested in playing it. But it's just like not necessarily what I go to Yakuza.
It looks so out of the all out of whack of what Yakuza started off with. It's
Yeah.
so ridiculous that I want to play it. Like it's so
Absolutely.
crazy and over the top, and it looks really good actually to me. Their dragon engine is shining more and more, and even seeing the naval battles like this right here brought me back to my favorite game in Assassin's Creed is Black Flag, and this brought me back to
Gotcha.
that, but in a more fantastical setting.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's probably the closest comparison that we're gonna get for the ship battle, because no one actually played Skull and Bones.
Yeah.
But yeah, it looks good. I'm interested in like figuring out who this crew is. I know he's like lost his memory and all that stuff, so I don't know. I'm excited for it. Definitely.
Is
Not as
Samoa
honestly-
Joe.
Oh yeah, Samoa Joe's gonna be great. I might put on English voice acting just so I can hear him.
Yeah. Not Batista is in there. He looked like
Yeah.
Batista, but it's not.
Batista been killing it lately. Honestly, he's funny as hell.
Yeah.
The game after this is probably maybe my game of the show. I think it's the one that I'm definitely most interested in. Is you want to skip forward to it a little bit?
Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. It's a weird name. Comes out February 28th.
It's too long of a name.
21st, and moving
Maybe it
forward.
sounds better in Japanese.
I said the same thing. Like I said the exact. It's funny you said that. I said literally verbatim. I don't
Yeah.
like that they put so much in the title. It's way
too
too
much.
long.
It's a whole ass sentence.
Pirate and Pirate Yakuza would have been perfectly fine, I think.
Yeah.
Now this looks really dope, and we've seen this
Mouse
before
PI
though.
Fire.
Yeah.
We have seen this before. I think that this wasn't this announced like I think like 2 years ago or a year
Something
and a half
like
ago or
that.
something?
Yeah.
But it looks a lot more put together than
It
the last
does.
time I saw it. So I
Yeah.
am happy for it. I think it looks really interesting. I like that it's like a very different vibe. You know, I think the only game that's really gone for the same sort of art style is like Bendy and the Ink Machine, and that game
Yeah.
is very different than this.
Very much.
Um,
That's the horror one, right? The horror based one.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Bendy like weirdly took off, like a lot. So I don't think this one will, but you know.
I hope it does well. It looks really unique. It makes me it gives me that what's the name of that game that's really really tough that we had on Xbox for a while and it went to multi-plat after it. It's set in the same shoestring art style. I cannot think of the name of it. It's multiplayer or co-op, should I say? What is the
I'm gonna
name
need,
of
like,
that?
One
Cuphead.
down.
Cuphead.
Cuphead.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a first-person shooter.
True, but I'm saying like the shoestring art style that they're using is very similar. It brings back
Sure,
that type
yeah.
of thought. Look at Mickey
Yeah, I
Mouse
see
with
that.
guns.
Definitely a similar art style. That's for sure.
Uh,
I think Cuphead probably looked better though,
Yeah,
personally.
both are really gorgeous. But yeah, Cuphead,
Yeah,
I think I agree with you. Cuphead was really really nicely done. Yeah, great. I'm excited for that Black Flag remake. I hope that is the case.
Cuphead wants a word, Daniel. They're very different games. One's a first-person shooter and one's a platformer. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. What does it say? Silent Hill 2 sold 1 million copies in the first 3 days. Okay.
Hey, good for them.
Nice. Yeah, great. I saw that and the hate about the girl for Yote. Oh, she's trans. It's like, what? No, she's not. It's like-
No, it was the voice actor like supports trans rights, and I guess
Right.
that's enough to set them off.
It is, yeah. How dare
People are
she?
People are so fucking sensitive these days. It's like, I can't believe that this person wants to be known by different pronouns. It's like,
It's
does
the
does
same-
it really bother you that much?
Have you noticed it's the same people that'll be like, oh, you all are soft and so snowflakes that cry about every single
Yeah.
thing that they put in a game?
It's like, let's be honest, that person probably doesn't want to associate with you much anyway if this is your personality, so you probably aren't really having to interact with this often. So why does it bother you so much?
People overdo it.
Oh, that's crazy.
This Subnautica 2.
This is okay. I don't give it I don't care at all about Subnautica, but it's huge. So
Yeah.
like I didn't maybe people knew that Subnautica 2 was happening. I didn't. This is a really big surprise for me.
I had no idea. I'm looking at the protagonist. He looks kind of like 3-bit without his
3-bit.
without his little goatee and mustache combo.
I couldn't even tell you if in Subnautica you get to make your own character. I've literally not touched it. I don't care for survival games. Not my thing.
I am not a big survival fan either. I never played the first one. I've heard nothing but positives about it, but that's just not my type of game.
Yeah.
Animal Will finally coming out. It's actually on Xbox. Dropped today.
Yeah. Well, because I think it's been out on PC or something, right? Like, it's already
PC
been
and
out, I think, a little
on
bit.
Switch too. Yeah, it's on the Switch as
Okay.
well. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Heard nothing
It
but
looks-
positives about it from everybody, really.
Yeah. It was also funny to hear Donkey's voice on it because he's like publishing it or something.
Mm.
Like he started a publishing company. I think this was their first game.
Oh, nice.
Obviously, he didn't make it, but he's helping it get out there.
Somebody said,
so that's cool.
Somebody asked, "What are you playing as?" They said, "Is this a turd?"
Yeah, you're a little turd. I don't know. I haven't played it, but I'm interested in giving it a shot. I've heard a lot of good things about it. So
Yeah. Let me fast forward a bit. This
The
is
next-
Eden Zero.
Eden Zero.
You got any excitement for this?
No. Look. It's just fairy tale, but what if we like
Right,
palette swap the
space.
characters?
Right.
If we take fairy tale, put it in space, and palette swap a handful of the characters. That's
Fairy
what it is. And
tale in
Yeah.
space.
And I never really cared for fairy tale that much. Like it's fine. I don't hate it, but
Yeah.
it's like, eh.
No,
And this is
I
just the
get
same
you.
thing to me.
Fairy tale I liked, but Eden Zero I could not get into. I tried, and I was like, nah.
I mean, as far as I can tell, it's basically the same thing. so
Right.
maybe you
In
were
a
just
lot of
tired
ways.
because you'd already read it.
I guess that's probably because these look not Lucy right here, Lucy, but
Yeah.
not
Is it happy in this
Sue,
one?
but
I
not
feel like I've
happy.
seen him.
Literally right here. You see him?
Yeah.
He's right here. And Lucy, literally, she's just Lucy. Like they didn't even try. He didn't even try on this.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Black hair Natsu is hilarious.
Black hair Natsu, right? He's mixed with Gajil, basically. Like
Oh yeah. I was gonna say gray. They just like slam those two.
or
characters
Gray.
together. This is,
Yeah, that's
this is
better.
the love
actually.
child of Gray and Natsu.
I agree. Gray is more fitting for it. I would say. What did you think about this one? This one looks really interesting, but I can't help but shake the feeling it has that bit of that AA Steam jank to it.
I mean, it's definitely AA. I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing.
Not bad.
I will
yeah.
say, I think it looks fine. The I don't know why, but the way they talked about it in the trailer was like burn rocks, trees, grass, blah blah, like that, and like the way that they were pumping that up, like it was like, wow, this is the whole game, is that you can freeze things and you can burn things. I was like, all right, cool. Like what? I don't know. Like it felt like a really stupid thing to me, but the game does look good, so I'll allow it.
Yeah. A buddy of mine said it reminded him of the Ubisoft game. What's the name of that? You play as
Is it the Phoenix one?
yeah, Phoenix Rising.
Yeah.
I see what
can
he
see
means by
that.
that. Also, though, it also reminds me of like Fortnite.
It reminds me a little bit of Genshin, actually.
Ah, okay. A more visually pleasing Genshin.
Maybe. Yeah.
Eternal Strands. I actually think I will give this a chance. It just kind of has that Steam early access
Yeah.
kind of look feel to it to me from what I'm seeing, but
It's going in Game Pass, so if it's a slower week or month or something, I might give it a shot. But
oh,
otherwise,
it's
I
going to
don't
Game
think I will.
Pass.
Yeah.
Oh,
they just
nice.
said that on the thing. So.
I'm
But
paying attention. That's a
This
W.
one fully thought was Elden Ring for a second. It's not. Mistfall Hunter. I don't know. It's got a cool vibe.
I like the
but
name Mistfall. I think the Hunter part sounds stupid. I feel like it
Bit
should
too
have just been
much.
called Mistfall. Yeah.
Yeah.
This actually looks really dope. I love the armor designs right here for this guy. He looks cool.
Yeah. It's one of those games where I feel like every time I see it, I'm gonna be like, that looks really cool, and then I'll just never play it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's one of those ones.
He's beating the
where
hell
it's
out of
like,
him.
wow, isn't that great? I hope other people love it.
Yeah, no, I get exactly what you mean. It looks really good. Definitely a Souls-like in a way. Much more fluid. And
Yeah, well, they said it was like a combination of like something in an extraction shooter, so it's a multiplayer game.
oh, okay, that's different.
Yeah, there's like some element to it where you're like getting gear and trying to get out, I guess.
Oh, okay, I see.
So I don't know.
We'll see how that plays out.
I don't know. It looks. I mean, I'm definitely more interested in this art style of an extraction shooter type game than like a normal one.
Yeah,
But
I'm with you on that. This looks really, really good. Slow motion punch.
dear God. We had what? Wheel World. I don't know what that game is.
She's like, wake up, baby. Coffee's
Dude.
ready. Miss Fall Hunter. 2025. That looks really good. This absolutely had no interest in it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really understand what it is. Is it like a bike MMO?
I don't know.
It's called Wheel World.
Wheel-
which makes me think
Wheel
it's,
World.
It's definitely open world. I don't know. I really don't understand what it is. I don't know if this is one of the ones that they set it for, but they were like, a lot of these are going to have more information on the Xbox Wire, and then I did not look at the Xbox Wire. So
Right.
What did you see?
this one I'm hyped for.
Now,
Phasmo, hell yeah, brother.
this one like doesn't do anything for me because
Really?
and
Phasmo?
I'm gonna tell you, me. I told you, like, I'm black. I'm a black man. My black senses kick in, and I'm
Yeah.
not trying to get caught up in some horror game and get killed, man. In my head, it's like I'm getting caught up in real life. So it's like, nah, I can't.
feel you.
I can't get caught up in this, and then I'm left as a sacrificial lamb, and somebody else gets away. Like, nah.
Yeah, Riskit will 100% do that for you.
Yeah, I bet he would. Now, if I can set
Brisket
him up
Beats
to
will
get
just leave
killed,
you in there.
I believe that. I'm like, oh,
It's
bro,
a-
you
it's
out,
a-
bro? I'm like, no,
Yeah.
I'm being
It's a really
massacred.
fun game just to like screw around with your friends with, though.
Is it? It's those multiplayer and all that. Well, it did
Yeah,
say
so-
co-op. It did say.
Yeah, so fast. If I assume that you would have known it. So it's a big like streamer game, but it's Phasmophobia is like you get dropped off at a house basically, and you and your crew have to figure out like what type of ghost it is so that you can banish it basically or something. I don't know really what the goal is, but you have to figure out what type of ghost it is before it kills all of you,
I
and
see.
then get out of there without dying.
Okay.
Um,
It looks like
it's
the
really fun.
visuals could be updated a bit on it, I would say. But
yeah, it's kind of it's like a
Okay.
very small team type
Yeah.
game.
okay. I have heard positives about it though. I will say that I heard a lot of positives. So maybe it's just my aversion to those types of games. But if I was streaming, I could
You
see
don't mess with those
myself.
spooky specters. I, get it,
I don't mess with them
understand.
spookies. But I guess if I was doing a streaming thing and playing those, like I could see myself doing it and have people see me in real time, terrified and screaming. It makes me think
Good
of
content.
Cole Eastwood when he was playing Resident Evil 7 and they captured him when he was like started screaming when the person busted through the wall. This actually looked pretty good to me, Legend of Babu, but
I was not sold on it until the name, and then I was like, Legend of Babu, hell yeah, dude.
why did the name do it for you?
It's just cute. I don't know. I like Babu. Also, like that's like a thing in like Alpharad streams is he has a. Don't worry about it. Don't worry. It's not important. It's just cute.
Now this one really looks good to me.
Yeah, Wu Chang Fallen Feathers. This was one of the ones that they were like hyping up before the show, and
It
we
was,
must
yeah.
have seen it before, but I did not remember it.
Yeah. Risk it 100%. I will spend the entire game running away. You got that right. They ain't getting
That's
me.
kind of what the game is, to be fair.
Yeah. He says Gray said I'll be calling him Darth or Monad. Was it calling him Darth or Monad? Yeah, for sure. Now this Wu Chang, we saw it before in June, obviously, but it looked good then. It looks really good right here.
Yeah.
Like I'm impressed.
A lot of the boss fights that they show us look really cool.
Yeah, I will say too, it's giving you a bit of that black myth feel, and it's because of the Chinese mythology. You see it all throughout here.
Yeah.
Even this, like that visual right there, looks flat out. Except that part was funny too. I'm like, well, they got a AK-47 staff.
Hell yeah.
A lot of this looks really well done, man.
That's my GAT staff. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, right. I love the what do they call it? The particle effects and stuff like that too. It looks really
Particle
solid.
effects,
Yeah.
I like the sorceries and stuff that she's doing. It looks really cool. Like I'm genuinely really interested in seeing what happens with this game.
100%. Even that part was really dope. The bow and arrow, magical spirit arrow. That looked really cool.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Look at that. Look at the fire
looks like-
effects.
It just looks like it's a Souls game, but you just have a ton of options.
Yeah. It's
You
like
know,
it's like
a
Black Myth.
flashier Souls game.
That's how I felt for Black Myth. It felt like it's a flashier Souls-like, but not quite Souls-like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah, it's really solid gameplay overall for Black Myth, and I feel like this is in the same vein, except much more diverse in powers and things and abilities. That's what it looks like. My Emperor. My man here has the Lubu feathers on top of his head, so he has to be a problem by default.
He's got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I actually kind of hate his design, to be honest with you. It's too busy.
A little too much going on. Anytime I see those peacock feathers on top of somebody's head, I think of
You think of
Lubu,
Lubu.
and I
Yeah,
think they're going to be a problem. Yeah,
It's the, do not pursue this man.
exactly.
Yeah, no. I mean, that's basically where I go to.
This
So.
place was always
And then
dangerous.
we're at the last game, baby.
Yeah.
And our second thing from Remedy. And this one, I think, is a surprise. I don't think we knew about this one.
Did not know about
they
it.
said that they were working on a multiplayer thing, but we didn't know what it was, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Need a new approach.
And this, I actually came away with a much more positive feeling. Like, typically, I don't
Really?
care for this, like, shooter stuff, but this seems to be kind of campaign inspired. It's PvE for sure. It's not like you're going against regular PvP. Although they might have that.
PvP mode, too.
Yeah, they might have it, but this is clearly story based right here. And however much story they're going to tell you, I don't know. But
Yeah.
I love
think
a lot
it's
of
gonna
what
be
I'm
a lot
seeing.
Just like, let's mess around. It does look a lot more sort of like cartoony than
yeah,
Control, which has me confused. But I'm almost certainly gonna play this.
Mhm.
The Remedy games are like some of my favorite games ever. So this one, even though it's not necessarily in like a genre that I would have normally cared about, like I'm down. I'll give it a shot. I trust them implicitly with making good games. So if it ends up not being good, oops, sorry.
yeah. I actually am. I think I'm going to give this a try. FBC Firebreak.
So Federal Bureau of Control Firebreak. I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. Definitely interested. Go into Game Pass, so I'll definitely play it.
Yeah. That's a W right there. I am, and they're going to show those 5 games that's coming to Game Pass too. Actually, pleasantly surprised by that, and was like, yeah, I'm going to play that. Didn't think I would, but I think the PvE aspect of it is what I would care for more in these types of games. PvE, something that's kind of story based. That to me gives it more meat than they're just
Hey,
running
there's nothing wrong
around
with
shooting
liking a
people.
little bit of meat.
Hey.
I will not judge
Yeah.
you. I love and respect you.
So they showed 15 games. Earlier I said about 15, but I thought I was wrong. But no, it was 15.
You
So
did
they-
on actually.
Yeah, 15 games, and at least nine of these, I really, really came away with a positive feeling for. And that would
Let
be
me-
Alan Wake 2, DLC, Chronos, The New Dawn, Like a Dragon Pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii, way too long of a name, but that did it. Mouse
Yeah.
PI, Eternal Strands, Mistfall, Hunter, Legend of Babu, and Wu Chang,
Babu.
and even Firebreak. All of those did it for me. What about
Yeah.
you? What was your standouts?
A lot of the same ones, to be honest with you. I was just basically counting them off while you were looking at it. I think there's 7 that I'm definitely going to play. There's the other ones I'm interested in for sure. I don't think there's any of them where I'm like absolutely 100% out, other than maybe Wheel World.
Yeah,
Well, I probably won't play Subnautica. I just don't like that style of game.
I
but that's fine.
don't think I will either.
So like, those would be the 2. Even though I'm sure Subnautica 2 will be great and probably do huge numbers because it's Subnautica.
Yeah,
But the one I'm definitely playing Lake House, and I'm almost certainly going to play Pirate Majima. Mouse PI for sure, Animal Well definitely, and then Wu Chang and Firebreak. I think those are the ones where I'm like for sure going to play those games.
Yeah.
Everything else is like, I don't know. It's going to be very dependent on like, does it come out at a time where there's not a lot of other games? Like, is it on Game Pass and I have a free weekend? Like that sort of thing. I could see
Mhm.
myself picking up a lot of these other games in that event, but those are the only ones where I would like set aside time for those ones, I think.
makes sense. Yeah, Animal Will, I still have to play as well, by the way. So I do need to. I might get that eventually, and it's not expensive. It's like what, $20 maybe, something like that, I think. So I might get that maybe next week or something. I don't know. I mean, I'm in no rush to get to it either, since I'm playing Metaphor right now. But I will buy it though. I've heard nothing but positives. I know Kay Asante talks about it all the time. He's really hyped about it. He actually also played the Mouse PI in Germany, by the way.
Oh
So,
yeah,
yeah.
it looks good. I'm
said
like
he liked
excited for
it.
that one.
Yeah.
I like things that are just very different, you know, because I feel like there's 400 games that all look the same, but Mouse PI is one of those games where I feel like 10 years from now, assuming I play it when it comes out, which I think I will, you could show me just like any screenshot from it and I would know what game it was immediately. And I think that says something. I think that's important.
Yeah, I agree. Art style can really transcend. So that I agree with you 100%. Yeah, man. I came away with a really positive feeling about this. I think this was better than last year's partner preview.
I mean, I also don't remember last year's.
It has some good stuff.
Compare.
I can't remember all the way in detail either. And I'll say this too, just to give Xbox their flowers, man. They have had a stellar year of showcases and such this year. Like, really, bravo, Tina Amini and team. Like,
Tina Amini deserves flowers. For
Yeah.
sure. Since she's taken over there, those showcases have gotten a lot better.
for real.
Some of them, like the content is still lacking, and there's not really anything she can do about that. But like the production on them, so much better. I especially really like. I have to assume because it started around the same time that she started there. The developer directs, I love those. I think those were probably like maybe her brainchild or something.
Yeah.
They're phenomenal.
I think so. I believe
She's really good.
I believe they did credit her for that. You might be right about that.
She was one of my favorite people when she was over at IGN. I was kind of sad to see her go. I'm a little. I mean, she still shows up on the Xbox podcast, not like all the time, but relatively often. So I still get to hear from her every now and then. But
Yeah. Well, hey, if she
honestly,
moved on to
she
greener
should start her own
pastures.
podcast. I want to hear from her more. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, hey, she has to get us these shows. So we can't afford that.
Yeah, she's busy. I know she's busy.
Yeah, but no, shout out to Tina Amini and team. They're doing the thing. I did not mean that to rhyme all the time, but great show overall. 8 out of 10 for me. Really enjoyed it. It ended. I thought it ended too fast. I'm like, wait a minute, that's it. If it went by that fast for me because of the nice flow of everything, it went by so nice. And these are all coming to Game Pass. Subnautica 2, Eternal Strands, excited for that. Wheel World, I doubt that I'll try it, but it is in Game Pass, so don't write it off
probably
yet.
Won't touch Wheel World.
Man, I don't think I will, but I mean, hey, you guys want to
I'll
give it a
definitely
shot?
do Wu Chang and Firebreak though. Those ones 100% are going.
Wu Chang, Eternal Strands, and Firebreak definitely getting played for a fact. Subnautica 2, I might change my mind and give it a chance, maybe.
I might give it a shot. If was original Subnautica co-op? I don't actually know. This one appears to be because there's 2 guys. So like, if I can convince a friend to play with me, maybe I'll play it. Otherwise, I probably won't.
Yeah, for sure. I asked the guys, what would you rate the showcase? Pete said he didn't even know there was one.
Okay, so bad.
so disconnected.
So not great. Yeah.
Right. Cap says Phase Captain, and it's his name is here. He put -7 and then the black moon face.
Little moon. Yeah.
I know he doesn't mean that because he loves him some Alan Wake, so that has to give him at least a 7 or 8 right there alone. Palpatine says he'll go with an 8. Yeah, I think about an 8 would be fair.
About right. It's not like these huge titles that people are like super duper excited for. Like, these are all smaller sort of indie things, with maybe the exception of like the Alan Wake DLC, I guess technically.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't know. They're all. I don't think any of them look bad. There's ones that I have no interest in, but I don't think any of them look bad. And it didn't overstay its welcome. It was like 20 minutes. It got in and out, showed you what it needed to do, and it finished up. Like, I think that is the perfect pace for this sort of thing. You know?
Yeah.
So even though I don't think there's any games in this where I'm like, oh my god, day one, let's go, holy shit! Like,
Yeah.
I would give this an 8 because there's a lot of them where I'm like, oh cool, yeah, for sure, I'll play that. You know?
100%. Yeah, same way I look at it. Overall, and I think a lot of these games definitely speak to me, especially the Souls-esque games. Wu Chang, it's going to be special. I think that's going to be a special game. So, yeah.
So I feel like we've been getting a lot of Souls likes, and I worry
way
that it
too
won't
many.
stand out above those.
Yeah.
But I'm personally more interested in it than I was for other ones. I'm actually more interested in it than I was for Wukong.
Yeah,
Wukong was gorgeous, but like the gameplay just never really spoke to me from the things we saw. I still haven't played it, so I will at some point. But
I was actually really excited for Black Myth, so like for a long time. So that
I was mildly excited. I didn't think it looked bad or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just not necessarily a cup of tea. I get it.
There was something about it. It just like didn't break above the like
the peak of interest.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even really know how to describe it. It's like because there's a lot of games that I think look good, but you have to be like you have to do something unique or something that like particularly stands out to me for me to be like to like go out of my way to play you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have all the money in the world. Like I work retail. I got to be pretty selective in my games, I think.
I get it. Gray gave it a 7 to a 7.5.
That's fair.
AJH says it is lacking a big third party. He thinks
I could see that.
Yeah, he says I think they were hoping Firebreak would be that big final game, but it wasn't. I'll give it a B. Yeah, that's fair. A B. I think a B is roughly an 8, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remedy saved the show 8.7. Why such a precise 0.7? Like why not just 8.5 or 9?
He's got a very specific feel for how this did. You know what? I respect it. I respect the hell out of it. Oh, Captain, my Captain.
Oh, Captain, my Captain. Soil Tech gave it an 8. How we think is no fat all game. Yeah, no nonsense. They got straight to the games 100%.
Yeah, that's another thing I really like about this is that because I think was last year's the first one they did of this.
Yeah,
maybe?
When they started doing those straight focus to
specific. Well, when they called it a partner preview.
Oh yeah, I think last year was the first. I think
because I think since that one, that's the only other one I can remember. They've been doing it in the format where they're like, here's just the trailers and like maybe some little like text to explain a couple of things between, but no one's talking. We're not breaking up the flow at all.
Mm-hmm.
But it'll tell you like if you want to know more, you can go to the Xbox Wire. Because I remember last time there were a couple that I wanted to, and maybe I'll go and see what's on there this time. But I love that. I love that they're like, this is what we have, and we have more if you specifically want to go and look at it.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Yeah.
Pete said they can never have too many souls. Like I think we have reached that threshold of too many.
I think we're getting there. It's not that there's too many, it's that it's like too frequent.
Oversaturation.
Yeah, and it's weird because I feel like a lot of them kind of look the same too. Where like it's weird that in the last 2 years we've gotten 3 that are like based very heavily in Chinese folklore. Yeah.
100%.
We got Wolong, we got Wu Chang, and now we got and Wukong, and they all Wu's, dude. I didn't even realize.
I forgot about Wulong. That's right. Yeah,
Wulong
was absolutely based in Chinese mythology.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Hey,
shout out to our Chinese brothers, and they you know their lore. They're starting to get the shine because usually it's just Japanese. Cool. It is usually it's the Japanese that's kind of getting their lore kind of explored like that. But I'm
all for seeing my boy Lu Bu and Guan Yu show up.
100%.
I'm down. I am down all day. I don't necessarily need 3 back to back.
Yeah. Soil Tech says he's still playing Black Myth Wukong. I loved it, man. It was currently my game of the year, but I think Metaphor is going to pass it up. I think.
Maybe I'll just wait for it to come to Xbox or something. You know, it's not like I don't have other games to play right now. Like Metaphor is going to take me until November to finish. So.
You got some time ahead of you, but I'll say you might not necessarily care for Black Myth because again, it's kind of not the type of game you would go for. But I enjoyed it for what it was, and I thought that it was a really full package of game. Like you get the photo mode at the start, you get New Game Plus at the start, you get it's like all those good things.
I'm down for New Game Plus. Photo mode doesn't really do anything for me.
Yeah, I'm a photo mode freak. So
I know you are. I see you on Twitter. I see you dropping all kinds of screenshots constant.
I swear, man, I love it. Like I love a visually beautiful game where I could just be standing in awe. Like I love it so much. But listen, what's this that you said, AJ? She says I would recommend everyone watch Vox Machina. I thought about it, bro, but like it didn't look like it was that good to me. He says I'm not a big anime or animated fan. But this show has had me hooked for 3 years, and its new season just started 2 weeks ago.
You know what the stupidest thing about that is I've watched that podcast, like I've listened to Critical Role, and I really like it. I haven't kept up with like the new campaign, but the Vox Machina era, I was like in deep. Haven't bothered to watch the show at all, and I really should, but I just haven't.
I haven't given it a watch. It just seems like it's not going to be my cup of tea, but that's maybe not fair. Maybe I have to give it a view, but. The vibes I got from it was like, but maybe I'll have to check it out. I can't judge it necessarily off that. So.
I remember it got like pretty decent reviews. So I don't know if a lot of that was based on like the fandom of Critical Role, because like Critters is a real thing. There's a lot of us out there, so those reviews could have been written by some of us.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's like good outside of that. Literally couldn't say. Have not watched it.
Yeah. But look, let's get out of here, man.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to thank you all for being here and holding us down tonight. You could be anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. We appreciate you. We're going to sign out. We went above exactly what I thought we would do. Like, we want to be here 2 hours, almost 3 hours now.
Oops.
Want to give you guys love for sitting here and tolerating us for this length of time. And, you know, and commenting and carrying the chat forward and such like that. I appreciate you guys. It's a lot of people that you be going to listen to. So trust me when I say that we appreciate you guys giving us your time. And for anybody that might come later on, appreciate you guys as well. Lurkers, all of you guys. I saw you, Cygnus, and you kind of lurking and then said something. So shout out to you, my Hoove brother, Bobby Hawk. I saw you, Hoove brother, as well. But yeah, thank you all in the chat. Appreciate you. If you have not done so, hit the like button on your way out. Or if you're lurking and have not subscribed yet, consider doing that, please, as well, and sharing this out and such, or whatever you feel necessary. It's on my timeline. But Danny, my man, good show, good talk.
Yeah, thank you.
It works
That's
nice,
fun.
man. Like, if this would have been more than just me and you talking in here, we've been had a 3-hour, 30-minute show or something. So
You have been late to work. You had to call
for
in.
real, like, hey, I am not gonna make it. But yeah, man, a good show, good talk. Tell the good folks where they can find you and what you'll be up to.
As always, you can find me on Twitter at Daniel J. McG, or my personal YouTube channel of Daniel McG. This week I'm going to be obviously finishing Shattered Space. Hopefully it ends good, because I don't know. I am a little trepidatious of like how much people seem to have hated it, but so far I think I'm definitely on the like more positive side. So hopefully it'll end pretty well. And then I'll probably start up Metaphor. So that'll be my life for the next month after that. Oh, and my fantasy football is going really good right now, it turns out. I just checked on it, and it seems like the Broncos, who I have the defense of, are kicking the absolute snot out of the Saints. So we're doing great. How about you?
When the Saints, oh, when the Saints.
The Saints were doing so good at the beginning of the season too, but then Derek Carr just like started sucking. I don't know. They were doing so good their first like 2-3 games, and then after that they just bombed hard.
Yeah. Has anybody sucked more pause than the Cowboys this year?
The Cowboys are 3-3. So by numbers, there's plenty of people who've been doing worse.
Yeah,
but like in terms of public opinion, no, the Cowboys are pretty.
Yeah,
pretty
public
bad.
opinion made me think that it was far worse
Pretty
than that. Yeah, 3 out of 3. They got a ways. They can still make it. They
They're not.
They were like, oh, get rid of Dak Prescott. I'm like, what happened? And now
Yeah,
I
I
hear
think
it's 3-3. It's like, okay,
I think the Jags are at like 1-5 or something.
yeah.
Jaguars standings. I don't know. There's a couple of teams like them and the Panthers. I think are doing just like absolute dog water. Yeah, Jaguars are at 1-5.
Oh wow, yeah, they're not making.
Oops. And the Titans are at 1-4. Wow, that division's just like not great. The Colts are at 3-3. The Texans are at 5-1. So the Texans are good.
Okay, Texans. That's crazy when the Texans are doing so well. Like
They're
that's
a good
the
team
main
this year. The last 2 years they've been really good.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
Got Joe Mixon and Stephon Diggs
nice.
getting it done.
If you get big winnings and you win big, man, you got to share the wealth with all of us here. Infinite wealth.
Absolutely. I'll buy you all Lions gear.
There we go.
If the Lions win the Super Bowl, you better bet your ass I'll be up on the roof holding up a jersey like Simba.
As for myself, you guys can find me, of course, Infinite Umbra or Umbra Infinite on Twitter. Tuesdays on Xbox Factor with myself, Boom, and Jamie Moran at 12 o'clock Eastern. Of course, back here with me and Danny at 8 o'clock Eastern on Thursdays. And Fridays, the Infinite Podcast with myself, Risket for the Biscuit, is the host. That Blue Number, Spriggan, a.k.a. Dante. And at times, when he can make it, Garuda Intruder. Yeah, we're going to get out of here, guys. I hope you guys have a great week. Get some gaming on. And yeah, fuck bitches, get money. I don't know. I don't know.
Oh no, we gotta get out of here.
See you all.